Hello and welcome to this week's weekly psychic forecast for week commencing the 20th of March 2023. So we are going to begin with an overview of the week. We're going to have a look at the week's energy as a whole, see what messages we have, see what the potential is for the week energetically speaking, and then we will go day by day, taking a look at each day individually, Monday to Sunday, finishing up with a spiritual guidance message at the end. Now, if you're not a member and you're watching this on YouTube or Rumble, you will only be able to see the overview, which is the beginning of this reading. If you'd like to watch the rest, you can pop on over to Ko-fi. I'll put the link below, and you can actually watch the whole thing over there if you become a member. So let's dive on in and have a look at this week. So the overview of this week, we have these cards. We have number 4, Badger Spirit, be fearless and bold. We have 38, Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being. We have the Ace of Spring, it's time to take action, be fearless and happily pursue your most treasured dreams, amazing career opportunities. And our last card, we have Embrace the Dark, which is number 9. Wow, really loving this energy here. This is very exciting. I have to say, we've got this number 4 and then 38, 12, is that, no, 11, 38, 9, 10, 11. Yes, I can count 11 too. Really loving this energy because, you know, we are about to move, the sun's about to move into Aries, and it's sort of like the proper beginning of the year. It is the astrological beginning of the year, which is when things do actually start to move. We're moving into spring. I started to see spring blossoms on the trees where I live, which is lovely. When I'm driving around, I saw it for like the first time only a couple of days ago. It's really beautiful. It's like the world is waking up, and this week we're really going to be feeling that energy of waking up, and there is this encouragement coming through. It's the moment to do the thing. If you've been putting it off, or if you started something and you kind of felt knocked back, the past few months have been a little bit tricky energetically. So you may have felt like you needed to hibernate, like you needed to really take some time out over this winter. It's been quite a challenging energy. It is the moment to get back on the horse this week. And it comes in with a very solid foundation on number 4, which is a very supportive number, but it does indicate that work is required. It's not necessarily going to come that easily. It does require effort. And with the Lizard Spirit, dream the world into being, to me this is talking as well about manifesting and our manifesting. What is it that you're trying to manifest at the moment? Because you can have it. You can start to realise. And isn't it funny, this leaf down here almost looks like an eyeball. I just noticed that. Different things jump out at you from different cards at different moments when you do this kind of work, if you don't know. Looks like an eyeball. It feels very much like we're looking in a new direction. Actually being able to see the future that we want, visualising it, being able to see that it's finally possible, rather than it being a pie in the sky idea that we're just sort of dragging around with us thinking, well, I'd really like this to happen, but you know, I don't know if it's going to. But now it feels like we'll really be able to start to see the evidence of the things that we want manifesting, as long as we are doing what we need to do to come into alignment with that energy. And if you want to know more about manifesting, you can check out my book, which I will link below, which is Dream Bigger, How the Law of Attraction Really Works. So but my best tip really is, if you want to manifest your desires, is to meditate. Okay, because meditation really helps you to get into the right energy for that. Anyway, it's a little shortcut, it's quite handy. So the Ace of Spring, wow, talk about gorgeous, happy, exciting new beginnings with this gorgeous kind of childlike energy here. I'm trying to pick this card up. There we go. This gorgeous magical energy, this little girl and her blossom tree. Isn't that beautiful? And she's got butterflies here with her, 6 butterflies. So the heart is making itself known here as well. Very interesting. So we've got 4 brown butterflies and 2 blue. I want to bring in number 4 again, which we had, which is that earthly number, which is very supportive. So it feels like our dreams are really, really being supported. Our new beginnings are really being supported this week. So we can feel safe to actually move forwards. We can feel safe to show our hand, I think, to the world. We don't have to keep our dreams secret anymore. We don't have to keep them under wraps. Because very often, you know, we'll have a new idea, we'll have a new plan, and you don't want to tell everyone when you have a new idea, because the more people you tell, the more people are going to pour cold water on it, tell you it's a bad idea, tell you you shouldn't do it, you know, possibly with the best intentions they'll tell you these things because they think they're right, they think that's realistic. But as I discovered recently, realistic or realism is just a school of philosophy. I don't know how it became the mainstream in our society that we live in right now, but it seems to be the mainstream philosophy that we live by, but it's only just one philosophy. It's not the be-all and end-all. And embrace the dark. I love this coming in here, this hidden kind of very witchy energy coming through here with this beautiful full moon in the background, reminding us to embrace those magical, mystical aspects of self on number 9. So coming in with hermit energy there. So number 9 being the hermit card in the tarot. Very exciting energy, very mystical. I think it will be a good week for magical working, as you know, so that goes beautifully with manifesting, for making things happen, for creating the world that we want. I think that's going to be very, very powerful energy to do that, but also to learn about the occult, to learn about our history, particularly if you are from the British Isles. You know, we have a very rich history, most of which is hidden, sort of 99% hidden, but if you scratch the surface you can find it. You know, for example, there are many churches that were built on ley lines. have a look at that. That's very interesting. I'm drawn to speak about ley lines for this week as well. So have a look into the history of where you live, you know, of your ancestors. And I have mentioned this before, but I'm very, very drawn to it. So, you know, if you have ancestors from the British Isles, you know, from England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, maybe delve a little bit into the history, into the pagan past, I want to say, because I think you may find some little gems of knowledge and wisdom that that could really help you. So let's have a look at our Spirit Message Oracle, see what else we have for this week, see what my guides want to bring to our attention. Okay, all right. So we have, there is no lack. Very important to remember when you're manifesting. There is no lack on 34/7. You'll notice I always reduce numbers to a single digit because I'm a numerologist, so I'm a bit of a number nerd, when I can add them up correctly. We have to do maths. Oh no. There is no lack. Yeah, and I drew a little sack of money here with a pound sign on it because I'm English. There is no lack, and that's the thing. I mean, very often we can hold ourselves back from our dreams, from our desires, by thinking, well, I shouldn't have more than the next person. And my question is, why? Why shouldn't you? You're not taking anything from them by doing well for yourself. In fact, if you have more money, you have more money available to help people and lift them up, to donate to charities, to be a good person and actually make change in the world. So I want to remind everybody this week that you cannot make yourself sick enough to make someone else well. You cannot make yourself ill enough to heal somebody else. That is not how this works at all. Okay, and you cannot make yourself poor enough to make another poor person, you know, better off. All right, that's just a very, very unhelpful way of thinking that many of us kind of have instilled in us. And I don't know where it came from. I have often wondered about this. Where did this come from? This idea that we have to be lowly so that the person next to us can be okay, because there is no lack in the universe. We live in an infinite universe, and I think that's something that we should really be teaching in school, in my opinion. When I rule the world, kids will know this and they'll have great self-esteem as well. Anyway, so Feathers from Heaven on 4610. Oh, well, that's interesting because this is change. Oh, I love these number combinations. I'm just going to show you here. So we have 46, 4 and 6. So we've got 4 brown butterflies. So we've got number 4 coming in and 6 butterflies in total. So I knew I wanted to talk about 4 and 6 with these new beginnings. And the Feathers from Heaven energy coming in here. So it's coming in on 4 plus 6 is 10. So that's about changes and new beginnings. It's beginning of a new cycle. So I mean, we are literally entering a new cycle as Aries, and you know, the sun enters Aries. So it's literally a new astrological cycle there. But it's also a new cycle for us in our lives. We have an opportunity now, and it feels like quite a big one. I think we've been waiting a few years for this one. Things that have been put on hold for the past 3 years, I would say, can now start to move properly, can now start to begin properly in earnest. We can really start to see the shifts and the changes coming in with angelic help, with help from heaven. So it will feel as if things are lining up for us, like all our ducks can really start to get in a row this week. So that's a very, very nice, very hopeful energy. Lord and Lady Fire on 12. Now that's interesting. 12-3. Wow. This is very much, when I wrote this card, I intended it to be the coming together of the masculine and feminine, the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It's a very balanced energy, but when they come together, they are powerful. And this is what we forget. When we balance the masculine and feminine, we don't diminish either of them. They empower each other. And I do want to talk about the divine masculine because it is something that's coming more to the fore, more and more. And I have mentioned it in previous weekly forecasts because I remember it's come up before, but it seems to be a theme coming up very strongly. And I do I have already picked the cards for the rest of the week, and I have seen a couple of cards about that show up already, so I'm really quite excited to see where we're going this week. But it feels like the balancing of the masculine, divine masculine and feminine energies. And again, that comes in with our pagan roots, because, you know, you have the goddess and god in pagan beliefs. You don't just have a god who's male, and everyone else that, you know, you might have a woman, but it's probably a, you know, a woman of ill repute, or a virgin, because, you know, they're a bit useless. You can tell I don't like religion. I didn't get on with it. It's never been for me. But it's bringing back that balance to our spirituality, and I think we will start to see it, and I think that's interesting. And if you saw my video about God's gender neutral, about the Anglican Church talking about whether God is male or female, actually coming to the conclusion that God's gender neutral, well, I completely agree. God is neither male nor female, because God is both. God, goddess, whatever you want to call this divine force, this source perhaps that we all come from, to, you know, however you want to see it, whatever your beliefs are. But it is really noticeable to me that the masculine and feminine energies are trying very hard to come into balance at the moment. They're trying very hard. It's very much trial and error at the moment, so we are seeing some very strange things in our society at the moment too, which will sort of be evened out and straightened out and calmed down over the years, I think. I would even say over the next 12 years, I think we're going to see that sort of sort itself out. But it is a very hopeful sign, a very nice sign as well, very, very positive to see. So what else do we have? Love is all around you always. Oh, that's beautiful. So again, a little reminder here from heaven, a little reminder from source, from the universe, you know, from God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, that you are so loved and cared for. Beautiful. 54 9. So we've got another 9 coming in. So there's great wisdom about who we are and where we come from, I think, coming in this week. So that could be on a personal level, that you have a personal experience, a spiritual experience. It could be in your own spiritual practice that you have some sort of spiritual, I would say, experience. That's the only word I could think of. You know, there's a real energetic expansion going on this week, really starting to understand higher levels of our spirituality, of who we truly are. And I think it's really going to sort of ripple across the collective. We're really going to see proof of that moving forward. So that's really quite exciting. I'm actually going to go to the romance oracle next, see what we've got coming up in love this week. Love, romance, but also relationships, platonic relationships. It doesn't all have to be about romance. Okay, but it is about the divine masculine and feminine coming together, you know, regardless of gender. So, because we all carry both of those energies, and if we try to ignore one, we get very, very out of balance, and that's how you end up with a very, very sick society. So, ex-partner on 19, take some time together. Love Addicts Anonymous. Oh, codependence, codependency. I knew that was going to come out. That's actually why I've got this love oracle here as well, because I had a feeling we were going to need it. It looks like it could be a little bit of a difficult week as far as romance is concerned. And again, it is that balancing of the masculine and feminine divine energies going on, and that can cause some problems in relationships, you know, regardless of gender, because as I say, all of us carry both energies. It's not about a man being with a woman. It can be a man with a man, you know, woman with a woman, or whoever, whatever everyone identifies as, because, you know, that's just what we're doing at this point in time. But ex-partner, so there could be an ex actually showing up in your life. There could be somebody showing up. And I think it will be to kind of help you end a cycle, because I put this one on a number 19. These are all cards that I have written, these two ones here that I've channeled from my guide. So 19, 10, 1. So again, we've got another 10. So it is about new beginnings. So an ex-partner coming in, perhaps to show you how much you've grown. You know, if an ex-partner comes in and you're not interested and you're like, wow, what was I thinking? I've been there. And you see just how much you've grown, changed and evolved, or perhaps how much they haven't grown. That can be quite shocking when you encounter somebody from your past and they're exactly the same person and you are someone completely different. So that can be really nice, just to see how much you've grown. And I would say, if an ex is coming into your life at the moment, or attempting to get back into your life, or maybe if you're considering getting back together with someone, or have recently got back together with somebody, I would say take it slow this week, because there's a lot to discover, because I think either you or them has changed a lot. Okay, so I feel like the energy matched isn't really there anymore, but you may need to take some time to work that out, because we have got this card about taking your time. So take some time together on 49, 13, 4. So it is about stable relationships, really building stability in your relationships, you know, platonic as well as romantic relationships this week. Take your time, don't hurry, don't rush, you know, there is no rush. And, you know, if you have any codependent tendencies, which a lot of people do, and they don't even know that they have them, and it's not their fault, you know, it usually comes from a difficult childhood or an abuse in their background. I would say be careful who you choose to spend time with, be careful, set boundaries, I want to say, with people when it comes to your time and your energies. Be very clear this week about setting boundaries. Okay, don't feel like you have to run round after everybody else just because that's what you've always done, just because it feels comfortable and normal for you to do that, and then you end up exhausted and resentful. Okay, that's not helpful. Also, Love Addicts Anonymous, yes, beware who's coming into your life this week. They may seem like God's gift to men or women, and they really, really may not be, because there is this energy of balancing the divine masculine and feminine, and it's still a little bit shaky for some people. So be cautious, I would say. Beware of people coming into your life who seem too good to be true, particularly if you have a spiritual connection with them. So you may feel quite a strong soul connection, but that doesn't mean that you have to be together. And I'm just going to repeat that. Just because you have a soul connection with someone and you feel that connection, that soulmate connection or twin flame connection, whatever you want to call it, does not mean that you're supposed to be together. Okay? If it's right, it's right. If it's not right, it's not right. At least not in this lifetime. So, oh, you want to come in too, do you? Okay, so we just got this last card. Nothing will keep you apart. Wow. Okay, that's a nice reminder, actually. So the right person, whether they're with you or whether they're out there, there is a reminder here that you will find the right person at some point. If you let them come in, you will find them. So there is nothing to worry about. There's some reassurance certainly coming in for relationships. That's a very, very reassuring message to come in. Very loving, very gentle, but equally for some people, if it refers to the ex-partner card down here, it could be almost like stalking. I want to say look out for it. Okay, if somebody is being a little bit too keen or showing up a little bit too much too frequently in your life, that may not be very helpful. So be very, very discerning. Okay, there's a very fine line between romantic and creepy. Okay, as we know. So let's have a look at money, finance, abundance. So abundance requires gratitude, question mark, on number 44-8. Does it? Do you have to be grateful to have lots of money? I see lots of rich people who don't look very grateful. So I really want to question you to question your beliefs about manifesting. And it may not be about money, it may be about something completely different. But question your beliefs when it comes to manifesting and when it comes to abundance this week, because great fortune is available. It's right there, sat on the bottom of the pack going, hello, Helen hasn't even picked me and I'm going to show myself on the video because I'm a big show-off card. But does abundance require gratitude? I really want you to question your beliefs when it comes to manifesting money, abundance this week, because some of them may be incorrect and you may be surprised, but happily surprised by what you find. So charity and altruism, that's very nice actually. So there's a little reminder here to help charitable causes, to help somebody in need, and there is no lack. So don't put yourself in financial difficulty to help somebody else, because that doesn't help anyone. That's a zero-sum game. Okay, help people in ways that don't cost you what you cannot afford. That's very, very important. So generosity of heart, mind and wallet. So it is all about giving this week. That's interesting. So if you can afford to help people, please do. But it's the heart, mind and the wallet. It doesn't always have to just be the wallet. Okay, you could spend an hour helping a charity. Okay, you could spend 20 minutes giving a little old lady a lift to the shops so that she can do her shopping. You know, there are lots of things that you can do. And I want to say, remember that the universe is generous too, because there is no lack. Remember, the universe is generous too. And this week it feels like there is a lot of potential financially. So we're told not to be too miserly with what we do have, but equally not to go too far the other way and give what we can't afford. Okay, find that balance. You know, you might practice tithing, which is where you give a little bit of money to a good cause or charity every month. That can be a nice thing to do, but if you can't afford to do it, then it's not right. Goldstone crystal. Oh, lovely. I'm just going to bring some in here. This is goldstone. Okay, very, very lovely. It's actually a man-made crystal and it sparkles, so I quite like it. You've probably seen my goldstone turtle show up in various... Oh, video, where is he? There he is. My goldstone turtle he wants to come into. Goldstone crystal, I'm going to say, is a good crystal to work with this week, to meditate with, to hold, to carry a little piece around. It's a wonderful stone for manifesting money and abundance and gold, obviously, because it is this gorgeous, gorgeous, sparkly golden colour. And it's very earthy as well with the brown as well. So it's quite grounded. So it's like literally bringing money into the here and now, into reality. So it's literally manifesting money. Let's see what else we have. Double-edged sword. Okay. Okay. So again, there is a question here that's being asked. We're being asked to think carefully about things. What is it that you want and why, I would say. What is it that you want and why? And are you setting yourself up for difficulty? Okay. I'll explain what I mean. I want to go back to the first card, abundance requires gratitude, question mark. So do you think that you have to do a certain thing in order to achieve a certain outcome? Because that may not be the case at all. Do you think that you have to struggle in order to get a living wage? Because I can tell you now, that's not the case. There are millions of people in the world who are proof that that is just not true. Some of the richest people do the least, as we know. Okay, it's just a case of learning how to align our energy with abundance so that we don't have to struggle, letting go of that resistance that comes through, those beliefs that come through regarding abundance and struggle. So, and remember, all of these cards could have an individual meaning for you as well if you're watching, because this is a group reading. So I'm just going to bring in one of these. Here we go. Oh, we've got two. I've got two that want to come out here. So regarding relationships this week, we have deep in your heart. You already know the answer. Do what feels right. So really tap into your feelings this week. Okay. Even if we feel like we want to be with someone, very often on a deep level, our heart knows it's not quite right. Okay. So really, really feel into your feelings this week. And not just in relationships either. I think our emotions, our heart is really going to steer us in the right direction. You will know what's right because it will feel right. If it feels icky or if it feels stressful, then there may be something to look at. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the wrong thing to do, but there may be something to look at. Are you trying to force yourself to do something you really don't want to do, but your mind has decided you should want to do it because of who you're trying to be? Okay. And then we have wait. This is what I was saying. I do want to talk about romance with this card. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. So no rushing ahead with relationships. I want to say, or investments this week. Okay, any kind of new partnership, and that could be with an investing bank or, so your portfolio. Don't rush in. You will definitely want to, because of this kind of rush of like Aries energy that's coming in, very, very soon. And God knows Aries loves to rush forwards. But it's not quite the moment to do that just yet. Okay, yes, spring is in the air, but it doesn't mean that we have to throw all our eggs into one basket and, because we may just end up falling over and smashing them all in the street. And that would be a terrible shame. So that is my overview for this week. We are going to move on to Monday now for members only over on Ko-fi. I will see you over there, or if you're already watching there, let's continue. So hello members, let's take a look at Monday's energy. If you hear meowing, that's a little black cat who likes to come and play with Bedford, and she's outside my back door meowing for Bedford to go play with her. Whether he gets off his butt and out of his bed is quite another matter, however. Okay, so what cards do we have here? Oh, that's interesting. Not that one. All right, so cards for Monday, we have number 52, the Scarab Beetle Spirit. Magic works through you. Oh, that's quite an exciting card. Number 1, the Magician, seeing a theme here. You can do anything, take charge of your life, you can manifest what you need to be a success. And protect the wild and green on 32.5. Interesting. 52.7, number of the Mystic on that first card there. And we have the Magician. Very much talking about magic right now. Very kind of green magic, earth magic, green witchcraft, the ancient ley lines, because this is the Glastonbury Tor represented in the background. That's what it looks like to me, which is obviously on one of the big ley lines in the UK. This is very much talking about nature, natural magic, learning how to work and harness the energies of the world and work with them you know, and work with them to our advantage as we need them. And that's not a bad thing. We are allowed to do that. We are allowed to do what we need to do. We are allowed to have what we need and what we want. That's absolutely okay. But there is this message of protecting the wild and green. And I feel like I want to talk about protecting the world from being manipulated. Okay, because there are many people who say that they want to protect the world, they want to keep it safe, and then they do things that really don't seem to be in line with that, like introducing GMO crops, you know, not banning very dangerous chemicals that other people use on crops. You know, I'm not going to name them, but you know what I'm talking about. You know, people who say they have this green agenda, which is in many ways quite dark, quite sinister. But they really don't seem to genuinely care about the world, okay, and definitely don't care about people. So I feel that's a theme coming up, and it's interesting that the magician in this deck is wearing green. Okay, so and there's this beautiful green colour on the back of the scarab as well. It's a beautiful green colour along with the red there. So I do want to talk about the green colour. I want to talk about the green movement as well on Monday, what's happening. I think we may start to see who's who and who genuinely cares and who genuinely doesn't, who's just in it for the money, to make trouble or to keep people down by using, you know, green laws as an excuse to stop people from thriving. Okay, because that is definitely something that can happen. You know, anyone can use, any corrupt politician can use a law that seems very reasonable on the face of it, but actually is very, very harmful to people, to populations, and ultimately to nature as well. And we have to remember that we are one with nature. We are part of nature. We are part of this universe. There's this rich tapestry that we live in. We're here because we're supposed to be. We're not here by accident. We're not a virus. We're not bad. We're not evil. I've said this many, many times before if you've watched any of my previous videos. We are here because we are part of the natural world. And the sooner we remember that, the better. Okay. There may be something for you to do, maybe a cause for you to speak up about. Maybe trees need your protection, maybe they need your help or support. But it does feel like a very empowered day today, very empowered, with the magician showing up and the scarab beetle as well. So there's a connection to ancient Egypt there for some people as well. That may be something you feel personally very connected to. I certainly do. I work with Anubis. Who now wants to speak. Okay, I can hear him. I can hear his voice coming through. I can't make out the words. There's just this booming and I can see him behind me as he's kind of stepping forwards there. So I feel there could be a connection with Anubis there as well, with the afterlife, perhaps speak about the afterlife, new higher understandings of the world, of the cycle of creation, the cycle of life and all of those things. Which are very much connected to the natural world as well, because we can learn so much from animals and from nature, from plants, about life. We can learn so many lessons from them, and most of the time we don't. We just go, oh, it's a stupid plant, cut it down, you know, or pull it up. You know, that's inconvenient to me. Well, maybe we should have another look. I also want to talk about herbal medicine and herbal remedies. Potentially they could be of interest. They could resonate for you on Monday. That could be a subject that comes up. Very humble plants like dandelions can be extremely useful. Nettles, extremely useful. Okay, used in traditional remedies. Obviously, I don't give medical advice. You guys know that. This is not medical advice in any way, shape or form. But there are many remedies that you can use using what we call very, very, very common in garden weeds. Okay, so I feel that that's a subject to look at again on Monday, something that may be coming up. Very, very interesting energy, but very empowered, I think, for manifesting. I think your meditation is going to be very interesting on Monday. If you take some time to meditate, I will definitely be doing that, because that looks very exciting energy, very magical, mystical energy coming through on 52.7 and number 1, the magician. So it is about the self. It is about becoming the mystic. It is about becoming the person you were always supposed to be. And I mean that on a spiritual sense. I mean that in the sense of enlightenment and knowledge, and really truly understanding this realm that we live in, understanding how to wield the energies and the powers in the same way that the dark forces have been doing all this time, but doing it the right way for the right reasons, because she has a sword. This is very much about justice here, about cutting ties with the past, cutting out what no longer needs to be here, maybe pruning back some unruly plants that shouldn't be in certain places. Okay, and I mean that as a metaphor, not literally. Or maybe literally, you know, if your garden needs trimming. My allotment definitely needs some work. If you want to come over and help me with that, you're welcome. Okay. Very, very powerful. There could be a direct connection to Glastonbury for some people, but this is a very beautiful, very powerful wand that he's holding here. Very powerful. And he's also got the infinity symbol there in his other hand, which is lit up too. So it's reminding us of our infinite nature, that nothing is ever left undone. Okay, even if it seems like it in this lifetime, we can always come back and do it again. All right, our souls will do all the things they need to do. We don't need to worry about whether we've done enough in this lifetime, because we will do more than enough. All right, there is no rush. There is no, there's no hurry to do specific things. Just do whatever you want to do. And I want to ask you that question today on Monday. What is it that you want? What is it that you actually genuinely want to do? What sets you on fire? What's exciting for you? And do ask yourself that as well, because it's not all about service to others, although that can be an element of it, and that can be really nice, that can be really fun. But it's not about making yourself a slave to other people. And that's the thing that we really need to be getting away from. It's not about being a slave to other people, and it's not about making other people a slave to you either. It's not about servitude. It's about service, providing service to others. And we talk about this a lot in the spiritual community. You see, like a lot of mediums, they go into it and with an intention of serving, and that's very often how it's said. But very often the energy is very, how do I put this? Very lowly when they do that, and it's a shame, because you see a lot of mediums who are extremely gifted and talented. They're fantastic at what they do, and by mediumship I mean bringing through messages from people who've passed over onto the other side. Very, very gifted people. You know, some of them tour the churches and do services there. So again, literally the word service. But they all end up, not all, many of them end up sick and broke. Very, very sick. A lot of them have, you know, chronic health conditions, although they're literally half existing in spirit energy, and you really wouldn't expect that, because they're not looking after themselves. Okay, and as I said in the overview, you cannot make yourself sick enough to heal another person. Okay, you cannot make yourself poor enough to ensure someone else's riches. All right. And I'm not talking about people who are manipulative, who are millionaires and you know, take advantage of other people. What I mean is, you can't make yourself poor in order to make someone else rich. It just doesn't work that way. That's not how the energy works. And little cats, she's really going for it out there. I don't know if you can hear it with the birds. I've got the window open. She's really meowing outside Bedford's window. It'd be funny to see if he wakes up. So, what else do we have for Monday? Really exciting energy, kind of new beginnings coming in as well, with number 1 striking out anew. It looks like, you know, he's striking out on a new path here, but feeling very empowered, feeling very knowledgeable. Great wisdom coming through on Monday with our endeavours with new beginnings. So, oops, these cards want to come out. All right, then. We have clear away the old narrative. Abso-bloomin'-lutely. We are all unique and we are all one. Yes. Really, really coming through with a lot of mystical knowledge and wisdom coming through for Monday. There's a lot coming through there. Really moving into the new energy, leaving the old ways behind, or the ways that we were taught we were supposed to act, how life was supposed to be. And half of it was a pack of lies, let's be honest. If you work hard, you'll earn lots of money. Yeah, no. If that was true, the bin man would be a millionaire. Okay, learn to rest, not to quit. How did that get on there? That's interesting. There's a mark on this card that wasn't there before. That's very interesting. Learn to rest, not to quit. Yes. And again, it comes in on number 1. So I do want to talk about looking after number 1 on Monday. Make sure you are looking after you, doing the things that you need to do. What works for you? What doesn't work for you? Are you aiming too low? 28-10-1. Are you aiming too low? Could you be doing more? Could you be aiming higher? And I don't mean as in you should work harder and get a promotion. I mean, are you expecting too little for yourself in this lifetime? Could you be expecting more? Could you ask for more? Okay, I'm just going to leave that question there, but I think the answer is probably yes. It's okay to play and explore. You don't have to know everything. Well, that's nice to know, especially when we're striking out anew with this magician energy. Comes in on number 2. And shadow healing, clever darkness on 61-7. So there's another 7 sat on top of a 7 card. That's nice. Yes, and it does feel for many people that you may have been through a period of healing, you may have been in therapy, you may have been just following a spiritual practice or healing yourself, learning about yourself, about your past, about maybe you carry trauma from the past, maybe you carry emotional wounds that you've been working on, mother wound, father wound. And I do feel that it's really culminating in some new beginnings. And I think we're going to notice that on Monday, that this shadow healing that we've done of those wounded parts of ourselves, we're really going to understand how they have helped to shape and form us and turn us into really quite wonderful people, really wonderful beings. Because whilst it's not nice to go through adversity, it's really not. Let's not kid ourselves. There is always a silver lining. There is always a gift. Okay, so very often people who come from a childhood or a background where they are not safe, or perhaps they are treated badly, maybe there's a narcissistic parent, very often they become very, very highly empathic to the point of being very naturally psychic. Okay, and there's your silver lining. You have someone who's very empathic and psychic. That's a very powerful skill if you learn how to use it correctly and look after yourself. Okay, so let's look at silver linings, I want to say, on Monday as well. Silver linings to the difficulties that we went through in the past. And you really don't have to know everything. If you have been working on yourself, if you feel like you've changed as a person, then you may not really know who you are anymore, and you have to kind of start again and discover who you are, play, try new things. It's that wonderful spring energy. Was it the Ace of Spring we had in the overview? Yes, play, explore, try stuff. It's okay, you are safe, you are taken care of, you are looked after, you are loved. So we're going to go to romance. Why did I line them up that way if I'm going to romance next? There we go. Let's go to romance, relationships. Okay, it can be platonic relationships as well, but we're going to look at the romance oracle. Okay, what have we got here for Monday? Rainbows and unicorns, unrealistic expectations. Now that is a bit of a theme this week. In the overview we had, codependency. And yes, there could be some unrealistic expectations, or it could be unrealistic expectations you had in the past that you're now really understanding that they were unrealistic, that you didn't really know what was happening, or maybe your views, your opinions were skewed by how you were treated in the past. Maybe you're really starting to understand that on a higher level now. Or it could be literally something to do with rainbows and unicorns for you, if that's your thing. That's okay. There can be an individual meaning for the cards too. Feed your relationship on 60. Pick me on 5. Okay. Grumble, grumble, passive aggressive. Yeah, again, this could be a really tricky day for relationships. It does feel like your relationship, if you're in one, may need to be nourished. The other person may need to feel that they have your attention. Maybe you haven't been paying enough attention to them, or not spending enough quality time together. Maybe it's time to go back to like simple things, sweets, chocolates and roses on 15/6, simple things. It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It can just be a nice little gesture. Maybe make the effort, make the gesture in your relationship today if you're in one. This can relate to family as well, not just romantic relationships necessarily. It can also be maybe that your expectations of your partner have been unrealistic. Maybe you have felt ignored. Maybe you haven't felt as pampered as you would like, because we have got 15, which is the number of the devil. So it could be that maybe you're the one misbehaving a little bit here. Maybe you're the one that's been a little bit passive aggressive. Okay, maybe you really need to check yourself there. Check your relationship before you wreck your relationship. It could be time to look at that and really think about, why are you with this person in the first place? If you hate them so much, why are you here? Well, you probably don't hate them. Okay, but really have a careful look at that. Are you being fair to them? Are they being fair to you? What can you do to nourish your relationships in general on Monday? What can you do to nourish yourself as well, and to help you to feel better, and to maybe check or curb any bad habits that you've got into that could be harming your relationships? So we're going to look at money and finance and abundance here for Monday. Our cards we have generosity of heart, mind and wallet. Interesting, that one coming out for its second appearance this week. Financial audit on 40. Poverty isn't holy. Yes, that seems to be an overarching message for this week, that it's not holy to be poor. You don't have to be poor so that someone else can be rich. or so that they can be abundant. I think that's a better word for it, so that they can have everything that they want and need. Okay, the universe is unlimited. There is no limit to things other than the limits that we put on them as human beings, and we decide, we count things and we decide there's only as much of this much of that, there's only that much of this, there's only X amount of the other. And very often that turns out to not be true. Okay, so don't be mean with yourself, I want to say on Monday. Don't be mean with yourself. Goldstone coming out again. Okay, I left the Goldstone here. Actually, this card's leaning on it. The Goldstone and my little Goldstone turtle is still here. It's still present because I felt that was a strong theme. So Goldstone is your crystal for Monday. I'm very guided to talk about that one for you. Anything else? One more. Okay. Maneki Neko. Don't mind if I do. In you come. There we go. This is Maneki Neko, the beckoning cat, if you don't know her. Maneki Neko beckons good fortune, beckons customers, beckons abundance. Very, very fortunate symbol. So we can bring in more money. We can bring in more abundance into our lives. There is an opportunity on Monday, I think, to actually start something new. Like I've said, you know, it might be that project that you started and shelved for a few months. It does feel like financially we can start something new. We can start to attract the finances that we want. Maybe have a look at what you're doing, where you could stop losing money, where you could start earning a bit more, gaining a bit more, charging a bit more. Maybe you're not charging enough for your time, for your efforts. There is this reminder to be generous as well, to give to charity, but also that on the other side, on the other hand, you know, it's wonderful to be generous, but on the other hand, poverty isn't helping anyone. You putting yourself into financial difficulty doesn't help, and that reminder coming very strongly through today. We already had that for the overview, but so strong. So we have to say it again, but there is opportunity. Opportunity knocks when Maneki Neko shows up. So financially there is opportunity. You know, as long as we approach it in a sensible manner. I don't want to say it will be a little bit by little bit. This isn't something big coming. This feels like a little bit at a time. The story of Maneki Neko, as far as I know, is that there was this cat who was attracting people into the shop by sitting on the shopkeeper's windowsill, literally grabbing people with their paw as people walked past. And they thought it was so funny that they actually went in the shop and bought things. So, yeah. So we're going to move on now to Tuesday. Let's take a look at Tuesday's energy. So now we are moving on to Tuesday, 21st of March. Okay, and my calendar tells me it's Human Rights Day in South Africa as well. Interesting. Okay, my eyes aren't normally drawn to that sort of thing, but they were there. So let's take a look. All right. We have 35, Seek the Lesson. 17, Heed Your Dreams. 14, Balance, and 31, Groundhog Spirit, Time to Let Go. Okay, the Balance card, take everyone's input into consideration, merge viewpoints to create a better solution, take your time, there's no need to rush. Okay, now this is an interesting energy. I think this is going to be a very interesting day, Tuesday, as well. So we're talking about lessons, dreams, letting go of things and finding balance. Wow, what are we going to learn on Tuesday? So it does feel, again, like taking a step forward in our lives on Tuesday, really understanding some information, really getting a nugget of wisdom, I think, from the universe, really understanding things on a deeper level. Seek the lesson. Yes, you may have been through a difficult time, but what can we learn from what we've been through? There's no such thing as making a mistake if we don't, unless we don't learn from that mistake. Mistakes are how we learn, or they should be how we learn. So exciting day. I've also got the third eye chakra lit up here on this beautiful wolf looking at us here with all these gorgeous little lights. Very almost looks like it's made of leaves, this wolf, kind of a nature energy coming through here. So it does feel like nature could be the one to provide the lesson, literally. It could be that we need to listen to nature, listen to the trees, pay attention to what's going on around us. As you may know, you can look at clouds, you can look at leaves, you can look at birds. There are many omens and messages for us in the natural world. They're all there if we choose to look and choose to see them. I love cloud gazing. I always see so much. It's something I've been doing for a very, very long time. I've kind of intuitively did it from a very young age, because there's always something to see. There is always something to understand. There is always a symbol there that can show up for it. It's almost like scrying without having to scry, because the clouds make the shapes, so you don't have to see it clairvoyantly. So it's kind of like a shortcut. It's really great. And I live in England where we have a lot of cloud, so not hard to do. Although it's better if you have like a blue sky with bits of cloud making different shapes. That's an easy way to do it, to be honest. Okay, 17, heed your dreams. Wow. Yes, do pay attention to your dreams today. The dreams that you've had last night and the dreams that you're going to have tonight, I want to say, could be important. But also pay attention to the things that you want. What is it that you want? Okay, so your dreams, not necessarily the dreams that you have when you're asleep. What about your dreams, the things you want to achieve? Because we've got 17, which in tarot is the star. Okay, it's our guiding light. It's the things that we want leading us forwards. Our dreams, our joy. Where is your joy? You know, are you following your joy, or are you letting somebody else whisper, like this snake here touching the woman's third eye? Is he showing her higher wisdom, or is he manipulating her into this darker, less happy nighttime that she could be in here, where she could be in this beautiful sunlight, but maybe he is leading her astray? Maybe there's somebody leading you astray, telling you, oh yes, this is my dream, I want to work in insurance or in a bank, that's my dream, I love my job. Do you really love your job, or do you just think you love your job because it's not as bad as the last one? Because seriously, when I worked in insurance, I did not love my job. It was awful. Awful, awful, awful. You know, yeah, it could have been worse. Absolutely, 100% could have been worse. But did I love it? Oh, God, no. Absolutely not. I liked some of the people, but whoa, no, I would not do that given a choice. There are many things that we do that we're sort of trained to say that we really, really like them, or that we love them, or we appreciate them. Chances are, if you didn't need it to survive, you wouldn't do it at all. You know, if you want to know if you love your job, would you do it if you won the lottery tomorrow and didn't need to work ever again? Would you show up? If the answer is no, you don't love your job. Okay. All right. Balance. Okay, now I love this one with this gorgeous big stone lion here. And what is coming out of the lion's mouth? Is it wine? Is it blood? I find this card absolutely fascinating to look at, because it seems to be this chalice that she's holding here, but again the chalice represents the heart. Is it the lifeblood? Is balance the lifeblood of your relationships, of your life? Because we must have balance in our lives. You know, we can't just work ourselves to death and think, oh, it's okay, I'll rest when I'm dead, or it's all right, I'll rest when I'm retired. Well, you may not have time to rest when you're retired. It may be over sooner than you think. Bring balance into your life and in all the things that you do as well. Remember to slow down and smell the roses. But also, I want to say this is a very mystical figure, kind of, this is a fairy tarot deck, so she does have these very etheric wings. She's almost like a fairy queen, or I want to say a fairy priestess here. It's a very interesting symbolism on her white robes that she's wearing here, very angelic energy. And the lion, of course. So I want to talk about Leo, and it could be that you have Leo in your chart, excuse me, or have a look at the placement of Leo in your birth chart, and where compared to what's going on with Leo at the moment, what planets are in Leo, what house it's in for you. I think that will be interesting. I think that will be quite telling as well. I think there is a need for courage here too. It may be a day to be a little bit courageous, and certainly if you have to let go of something, yes, that requires courage. Or if you have to learn a lesson, that's quite hard. That takes courage too. A weak person will not see the lesson. They will just blame everybody else for their misfortune. Whereas somebody who's a little bit wiser, who does have some strength, some courage, some conviction, can look at it and say, well, okay, yes, that was awful, but I can take full responsibility for it because it's my life, because that's more empowering. And I can see what I learned from that and what I will not do, or what I will do moving forwards, which is always good, always a positive. So again, try to see the silver linings, try to see the lesson, the positives that we can take from even the most terrible situation. 31, Groundhog Spirit, time to let go. Now this could be literally a relationship to let go of. Has it been Groundhog Day for a long time? Look at him holding onto this little heart very, very close to him, like he's afraid to let go of it. But he's also got this gorgeous necklace on. It just reminds me of one of these. Okay, so prayer beads. I forget what they're called. It'll probably come to me. But it just reminds me of prayer beads around his neck. It's almost like he's so busy holding on to this little heart, he's forgotten about his prayer beads, he's forgotten about his spiritual practice. Is somebody keeping you from your true self? Is something keeping you from being your true self? Is something preventing you from following your true path? That's the question I want you to ask yourself on Tuesday. What is it that you need to let go of? I really want to stroke his little furry belly there. Probably because there's a cat outside, but yeah, very drawn to the softness, the fur. How could your life be softer? How could it be more comfortable? What is it that you need to let go of that's making you uncomfortable, that's making it impossible for you to hold everything at once? Are you trying to spin too many plates? Are you trying to wear too many hats, be too much for too many different people? Is it time for some boundaries and some balance? Okay, and I think the little cat's now bashing on the cat flap, which is closed, which is why she can't open it. I think she's actually knocking on the back door. I might actually just go and see if Bedford wants to go out to play before she destroys my door. So Bedford update, because I know he has more fans than I do. His little friend had gone, which I think he was quite relieved about, because he was asking to go out the front door to get away from her. Because she's a cute little thing, but she beats him up. And he lets her, because he's a big wuss. But he now has a bowl full of tuna. So let's continue. Okay. So, Tuesday, let's see what other messages we have here. Alright. I want to talk about boundaries as well, because Bedford has got quite good boundaries with this little cat that comes to try and play with him, but she's very rough with him. He's much bigger than her, much stronger, and he could easily beat her up, but he won't, because he's a gentleman, he won't do it. But he has good boundaries. When she comes to the back door, he goes to the front. He just tries to stay away from her. So, boundaries. No is a complete sentence. Well, if there was ever a card about boundaries, this is it. Yes, no is a complete sentence. It's absolutely okay to say no and mean it. And you do not require any further explanation. All right, if you say no, it's no. No, thank you. You don't have to be rude about it, but no is no. Memories, coming in on 40. Okay. I want to tie this one in very much with the Heed Your Dreams card here as well. So dreams, daydreams, memories coming up today could be quite important, could actually help you to reframe some things from your past, to put them in the right place so that you can really understand things better moving forwards in your life. What is the truth and where does it lie? Well, exactly, you know, it may be the day to actually reframe some memories, to look at some things that happened to you, some experiences that you've had perhaps. Maybe it's the moment that you can look at it and go, wait a minute, that wasn't right. You know, I shouldn't have been punished for that, or this person was out of order when they did this thing, or maybe I should have understood this differently, maybe that person actually meant well for me. You know, that it feels like it is a day of actually learning from our experiences, I think, and actually putting things into the right boxes. I want to say, with memories, with dreams, putting things in the right boxes and understanding on a deeper level our own experiences and what we can take from them. Higher expression, lower expression, yes. So very much the higher self coming through today to help and guide us, to help us to really understand things, like I was saying, on a high level. Great day for meditation, Tuesday, for sure. Absolutely brilliant day for meditation. I think we can learn a lot. I think we can achieve a lot on a personal, individual level, on an emotional level. It's a good day for therapy, a good day for counselling. I think we could achieve a lot in counselling or in psychotherapy today. What else do we have? Cat energy. There's Bedford. But again, the cat energy card is all about independence and boundaries and knowing how to uphold those boundaries, because a cat has 20 reasons you don't want to mess with them, and I mean their claws. Okay, cats will make sure you do not violate their boundaries, and rightly so. You know, as some of you know, I'm a cat sitter part-time as well. I look after people's cats, and some of those cats have very good boundaries. Okay, mostly the girls. But there are some cats with some very strong boundaries, and you have to be respectful of that or they will punish you. So sometimes it's okay. I think many of us were brought up without having boundaries, or we weren't allowed to have boundaries, and we don't know what they are or what they look like. So it could be a good day to look into boundaries and learn more about that if that is something that you struggle with. Maybe it's been mentioned to you, you know, by somebody who cares about you, or by a counsellor. So in romance today, high highs and low lows. So yes, emotional disconnect for some people. So I want to say the emotional weather today on Tuesday, whew, this could be quite a tough day emotionally, particularly if we are learning some difficult lessons. We are learning some things from the past, reframing some things from the past, from our past experiences. Yeah, this could be a tough one. It could be that we've been emotionally disconnected, or that we've repressed something, or repressed our emotion about something, or perhaps we repressed our emotion at the time and now it's time for it to come out, to truly understand how we feel about something, an event maybe that happened in the past, or about a person. High highs and low lows. So yeah, I think it could be quite a tumultuous day emotionally, and that could be reflected and connected in our romantic relationships and our friendships as well. So moving forwards together. So it does feel like this work is important and necessary so that we can move forwards in the right direction with our loved ones. Okay, the ones we want to take with us, the ones we want to move forwards with. And notice we've got number 40 showing up twice here. 40, the number of viability. So I think if you have a relationship that is viable, that you want to move forwards, that is you know, where you're working together, supporting each other, this is kind of a day where some things come up that actually help you to move forwards together. It will help you to leapfrog forwards a little bit, I want to say. You are enough. Oh, that's lovely. Little reminder that you are good enough, regardless of what you've been told, regardless of what you think about yourself, regardless of what other people think about you. They don't matter. You were born worthy. You were born enough. Just showing up on the earth plane, that's enough. That's a big deal already. Okay, that's the thing that we're not told. Just showing up here in this life, which is really hard. That's enough. Okay, you do what you want to do. You be you. You do you. It's okay. So for some people, it could be literally dropping expectation of self. And that can be very, very freeing if you've always been someone who has had a mantra of, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do the other, or I have to, we should ourselves, I should. You know, I must do this so this person likes me, I must do that so my parents approve of me, I need everyone to approve of me, I need everyone to like me, I need to do all these things for all these people. Again, that can be codependency coming in, which is a bit of a theme this week. Love of money, love and money. Okay. Now that's interesting. So there is a correlation here between romance, relationships and money. Okay, is your relationship with money a healthy one? Are your relationships healthy when it comes to money, finance and abundance? So there's something to look at here. This can also be the gold digger card, so look out for gold diggers. Because there's love and money and there's love of money, which is different. Okay, and I needed to put both on this card for some reason. Which is it? And that's an important question that some people may need to ask today. It's okay to have love and money as well. So again, that old adage about, oh, lucky in love, unlucky in money, or lucky in money, unlucky in love. Load of rubbish. You can have both. You absolutely can have both, and you should. There's no reason you shouldn't. And by should, I'm not shoulding you. I mean, you are allowed to. Okay. So let's bring out our money cards now. Raise your vibration. Ooh. So a little message about manifesting today. And the best way to raise your vibration is to do something that makes you really happy, makes you feel really joyful, to do something that makes you feel wonderful, or just to meditate. That's a really easy shortcut. So focus on raising your vibration in some way today, and that could be just doing something that you really enjoy, really love doing, because it feels like there is an opportunity coming in, and for you to be aligned with it so that you can allow it in, whether it's today or whether it's in the near future. I think today's energy is really going to help you to manifest that financial opportunity, that financial flow that is waiting to come into you, because there's something waiting to come in that's really, really good. Gifts of abundance. It could literally be a gift. You might not even need to work for it. But if you don't believe you're enough, you may not be able to allow that into your vibration. Okay, you may actually resist it somehow. You know, and the universe wants all these good things for us. When we ask for something, the universe always responds, okay? When we ask for something using the law of attraction, it always responds. Sometimes we ask in the wrong way and it doesn't understand what we want. Okay, fair enough. And other times we have resistance, so it just can't show up. It can't physically manifest, although it's already manifested in the ether. It's there right, waiting right for us. And all we have to do is align ourselves energetically, raise our vibration, meditate, do something that brings you great joy to really help it to come in. Gifts of abundance. Well, that's quite exciting today. But again, there's the gold digger card here. So be careful who you give to today. There may be somebody who shows up, oh, this person's really nice. Oh, I'm going to be really generous and give them lots of money. Be careful. I want to say, if you're rich, don't be taken advantage of. You know, if you're somebody who has money and someone shows up who might be a bit too good to be true, be cautious, because there's this connection with money and love today, and it may not be the best one. Or it could be an opportunity, you know, to sort out your finances as a couple or as a family. So there is that too. All right. Generosity of heart, mind and wallet. Oh, okay, that is lovely, and it would make sense that that would show up against next to love and money, love of money. Yes, so it could be that somebody's generous to you as well, because we've got gifts of abundance, golden opportunity. It could be that somebody's being generous to you. There could be a gift of money, literally. But user abuser is showing up as well, so there is caution warranted for some people. Okay, beware of money that has strings attached to it. That's all I'm going to say. Beware of money that has strings, and beware of people who seem too good to be true, because con artists are a real thing. They exist. Okay, don't be taking him. So let's move on to Wednesday now. So let's take a look at Wednesday, the 22nd of March 2023. So our cards, we have number 24, the electric eel spirit, bring your ideas to life. Kind of getting a little bit of a Frankenstein's monster vibe on this card, but not necessarily in a bad way. It comes in on Master Builder number 24/6, which is a number where we can literally create things, bring them into being, bringing them into reality, literally bring your ideas to life and into physical form. So it's a wonderful day for actually manifesting the thing that you want, for bringing it into reality, for being inspired to create something. And I am drawn to IT here, so it could be something to do with AI, or it could be some technology that's connected to today, to Wednesday. It could be some new technology that's being revealed or discovered or created that can actually help us. But the electric eel is a dangerous animal. Okay, it can kill you. All right, electricity is dangerous. You know, it's a double-edged sword. So there is this kind of energy of it being a double-edged sword kind of day. Yes, there could be some wonderful advancements in your life, or, you know, it might be something we witness on the world stage. But it's also, it doesn't come without its cost. I want to say, yes, there could be risk involved because it doesn't come without cost. Okay, so our next card is the Five of Spring. Opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or other people, overly ambitious people. So, yeah, okay, so opportunity, but at a cost. Not everyone's going to agree with the moving forward, this energy moving forwards, the creation, the reality that you want to create. So there is some discord here. And then our last card, 47, trust in magic. Okay, so there is a message here very much to trust yourself, to trust the universe, to trust your guidance, your spiritual guidance, what it's telling you to do, to make sure that you are going always in the direction of the higher good, that, you know, for your higher good, for the higher good of everyone, that we are travelling in the right direction. Very mystical card, this one, with the two ravens or crows coming in here, very mystical birds. Also birds of omen, and I would say look out for birds on Wednesday. Birds of omen do show up, you know, magpies, crows, the corvids in particular. But also look out for synchronicity, I want to say. And I feel there is support. It feels like a day of partnership with the two birds on here. I want to talk about partnership. Partnership with the universe, partnership with other people to actually help make your dreams reality. There is cooperation on Wednesday. Cooperation is possible, and I think that's where the magic actually lies, in cooperating with others, with helping with others. But be aware that not everyone's going to be on board. Okay, work with the people who are going in your direction in the down the river. Okay, the ones who want to paddle upstream and go that way, they're not your friends. Okay, they are not the ones who can assist you, who can help you to achieve your goals, work together on projects. These could be difficult colleagues that you have to work with. They could be family members who don't want you to grow as a person, or who object to you doing your own thing, the thing that you want to do. Just checking outside, make sure it hasn't started raining because Bedford's just gone out. Heaven forbid he should get wet. He's a cat, he might melt. Yeah, but be aware that it will be a group effort. So it's interesting. It just reminds me of a book I read when I was a child called The Egg Box Brontosaurus. And basically, in a nutshell, it was a boy who wanted to do a big project all by himself, and he realised that he couldn't do it all by himself, and it was actually much more fun to do it with other people than to work as a team. And he learned not to be selfish. Anyway, good messages in there. So yes, it's not just about you, it is about the collective today. There is this feel of working together, working perhaps in community. You know, birds tend to live in flocks, they don't tend to be solitary for the most part. Certainly crows don't live on their own. They make a lot of noise and they annoy each other, but they all live together. They are family. And I think this speaks of your soul family, but also of the people who are on your wavelength, perhaps in the workplace. Okay, so it could be a new project or something you're working on, something you've wanted to work on that you've just been given the green light. Make sure you've got the right people to work with, not the ones trying to paddle in the wrong direction, because that will just keep you stuck, basically. And if you have had to deal with them up until now, it may be time to actually skirt around them so you can get to the people who will help you. So there could also be conflict today. This could be quite a tricky day. And it does feel, I talked about finding your tribe, finding the people that you resonate with in the workplace on a very practical level, you know, when it comes to hobbies or clubs or groups or whatever it is you're involved in. But it could also be on a more personal level. It could be literally about finding your tribe and realising that some of the people you've been hanging out with just aren't the right people for you. You could have been surrounded by people who are selfish, who have been taking advantage of you, and maybe you didn't realise that they never had any intention of returning the favour, and you know, maybe they've been stringing you along. Maybe you've been in a relationship or a friendship where you've been strung along, where someone's made promises, but they never really deliver on what it is you want. It's all very, very one-sided. And there is this energy of balance that comes through with these two birds here. I want to talk about two crows, and there's also want to talk about an episode of Rick and Morty called Two Crows. Anyway, let's not go there. That was pretty funny. Let's see what else we've got today. Remember who you are. Yes, remember who you are. I am. So the I am presence is a reminder that you are the divine in human form. Okay, and you don't have to bend to someone else's will or to whim, or to feed someone else's ego. That's not what you're here to do. You're here to be your unique self. You are here to be special. You are here to be magical. You are here to be all the things you want to be. So we are all unique and we are all one. You know, I am. Remember who you are. Well, you're everyone. Everyone's you. And everyone is God. Everyone is the divine. That's the truth. That is the higher truth. I am. You are. You are the I am presence too. I am you, you are me. And that is very, very powerful information, a very powerful fact that most people don't even begin to understand. Okay, or they dismiss it as, well, that's nonsense. How could I possibly be you? Because there is this illusion of separation in this realm that we live in. And that's why we come here, which is to experience what it would be like if we were separate from God, separate from Creator, separate from divinity, and separate from each other, which we're not. We cannot be. We are all one. And when we truly wake up to that fact, and I mean it truly on a very deep knowing level, rather than knowing it consciously, feeling it, experiencing it, which is something very, very difficult and different, which I have had glimpses of, but I don't consider myself enlightened, absolutely not. You know, just some person with a camera. When we get there, then we couldn't possibly hurt another being, because we would feel and see so deeply that they are us. Okay, and we couldn't ever cause harm ever again. So, stab the onion. Oh dear, it may be really time to get to the heart of a matter with somebody who's been holding you back. So I love the card Stab the Onion. So thank you to Jem for this card, for inspiring this card, shall we say. Getting to the heart of the matter. And she's an Aries, and we're in Aries season now. So yeah, it may be time to take the bull by the horns, or the ram by the horns, and charge forwards. It may be time to have it out with that person who's been holding you back, who's been criticising you, who's been trying to prevent you from moving forwards in whatever part of your life. It may be time to have a bit of an argument, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. You know, you may need to clear the air, or you may need to realise that this person is not on your side, and maybe they don't need to be in your life anymore. Maybe you don't need to be collaborating with them anymore. Maybe you don't need them in your group anymore. So you may need to fire someone if you're a manager or if you're a boss. Interesting day. But it's a lot of things coming to head, I think, today. A lot of things coming to head, but for the right reason, so you can see more clearly what's what and who's who. Take time to heal. Yeah, it's like I said, it's not going to be without cost. So gains to be made, but not without cost. There may be some pain, there may be some tears today, I think. Tears before bedtime. Fertile soil grows the best carrots. Yes, it does. If you're trying to grow carrots and you've got someone walking around your field putting salt on it, that's just not going to go well. So you need to get rid of that person and get rid of the salt. I mean, obviously, in real life you can't do that. But it may be time to let somebody go. Maybe time to get rid of somebody who is not moving your project forwards, moving, bringing a positive contribution to a group, to your life. Okay. Yeah, and remember, if you want to achieve something, you actually have to do the things that you need to do to achieve it. It's all very well saying, oh yeah, I'd really like to do this, but then you do nothing towards it. Oh yes, I'd really like to grow a vegetable garden. Well, what are you doing about that? Absolutely nothing. Okay, so do you expect to achieve that goal? Yeah, probably not. Okay, stop saying you want it, because you clearly don't want it if you're not doing anything about it. So there's a little bit of a nudge here, a nudge into action. It's interesting that we've got 24 and 42 on top of each other. So numbers 2 and 4 coming into play there in both combinations, 24 and 42. So 24 Master Builder and 42, so 24-6 and 42-6. So it feels to me as well that there is more than one way to do this. There is more than one way to achieve your goal. It's not just one way of doing it, not just one way of looking at it. And I think another perspective could actually help to bring some balance here as well. Going back to those crows. Be practical. Yes, it could be quite an emotionally charged day. There could be some anger, some frustration, I think, today. So be very practical and try to be pragmatic. If you're going to pick a fight with someone, do it in the right way. Think about what you're going to say. Don't be petty. Don't stoop to a level that isn't appropriate or fair or nice. Okay, I know arguing isn't nice per se, but there's a way to do it and a way to not do it. Okay. Hard-won results. Yes, it does feel like it would be worth it though. Self-care comes first. Yeah, there is a need, definitely a need to be a little bit selfish today and to put your projects, your needs first. And if someone isn't towing the line, if someone isn't going along with that, it may be time for them to exit your life, or to be sidelined, or to leave a project, or even to be fired. But also these pink cards here, they do talk about relationships. So they are talking about platonic and romantic relationships as well. So there is a need for self-care in your romantic relationships. Also for practicality and for remembering that relationships work because we work on them. You can't just leave them there. Otherwise it becomes like a garden. It'll be full of weeds and you won't be able to do a thing with it. Okay, so do remember to work on your relationships today. Completion or fulfillment. Yeah, interesting day. So something's coming to an end. Okay, now that can be a really great thing. That can be like a harvest where, wow, I've grown all these vegetables and now I get to harvest them and eat them, and this is wonderful and this is the thing that I wanted to achieve. Great. Or it could be completion and fulfillment, as in, okay, I've completed this and I don't need it anymore and it's time for it to go now. Okay, so it could be about endings in relationships today, or it could be about moving to the next level as well. Where is your fulfillment? What does your fulfillment look like? Are you fulfilled at work? Are you fulfilled in your romantic life, in your friendships? What are you doing about it? Be very practical, remember, with today's energy. What are you doing about it? I don't want to hear moping. You're not here to mope. No pity parties, please. What's wrong and what are you going to do about it, I think is the question today. So I'm going to move on to the Money Oracle. Let's have a look at money and finances for today. Look at the energy there, see what's going on. So, interesting old day. I think Wednesday is going to be very interesting. Would love to hear how that goes for you. Okay. We have Millionaire, Billionaire and lucky number 8. So that's very lucky energy here. So it could be that you literally win some money, come into an opportunity, or it could be an invention that, goes on to make you a lot of money, or an idea, an innovation, a creation that is very fortunate for you financially moving forwards, because there is the Millionaire Billionaire card. It is pretty fun when that comes out. That does come with 29, 11, 2 energy, so it comes with wisdom as well. Nice that it's sat on top of an 11. It reminds us that yes, you can be a millionaire. You could be a billionaire if you really wanted to. If you wanted to align with that energy, you absolutely could do that. But most of us don't really feel the need to do that. It's not somewhere most of us feel the need to go, you know, energetically. But there's no reason you can't be. And lucky number 8 coming, that's a very fortunate number in all matters of finance, money, so that could be a very lucky day for you today, or there could be a lucky break, or you could have a lucky escape from something. It's not always a gain, sometimes it's getting out of something at the right time. But very, very fortunate energy. Don't forget where you came from. Yes. Little reminder to be humble when it comes to money and finance. Remember who you are, remember where you've come from, and remember that you reap what you've sown. So literally, you reap what you've sown. So the fertile soil grows the best carrots. We're really talking about your endeavours, your choices, the things that you put out into the energy that you want to create and manifest, and you will get what you've put out there energetically. That's what will come back to you energetically. You'll get back what you've put out there, okay, or not. Generosity of heart, mind and wallet. Interesting, that's come up a few times now. So there is this reminder to give to others, be generous to others with your good fortune. So some people may literally be coming into very, very good fortune today for some reason. There could be an inheritance, there could be a win, there could be something quite unexpected coming in financially, or just to do with abundance. It's not always in the form of money. I don't know, maybe Bitcoin will go to 100k today, who knows. That'll be nice, because it will pull the rest of the crypto market with it. But anyway, someday that's going to happen. Banks have been kind of going bust, haven't they, recently? But that doesn't mean that everyone's going to suffer, because when something like that happens, there's also great opportunity, and there can be opportunity for you as well. It doesn't matter who you are or where you've come from. You know, yeah, don't forget where you've come from, but you don't have to remain at that level forever. You can grow and change and reap what you sow. So it could be interesting to look at finances today. It could be interesting to look at money, how you deal with money, what you do with it, where it is, what you're invested in. You know, maybe it's a good day to get some financial advice. Okay, I can't give financial advice, obviously. I don't do that. That's not what we do here. Yeah. Interesting one. It's going to be a very interesting day, I think. A little bit emotional, just stay practical on all the things that you do, but there is some real financial opportunity here, and I think opportunities in technology particularly, I want to say. Yeah, in IT, maybe in cryptocurrency, connected to AI as well, I want to say too. So, let's take a look at Thursday. So Thursday's cards, we have number 57, the Squirrel Spirit, Believe in Yourself. We have number 14, the Chameleon Spirit, Act as If. We have the 6 of Winter, Positive changes are on their way, a welcome relief from troubled times, travelling or relocating. And we have number 34, Reveal Your Truth. Now that's very interesting. Okay. Interesting cards here, and it's almost like the themes are I want to say oppositional for some reason. That word's coming up. That's not the word I was going to say. I was going to say contradictory, but I want to say oppositional. Maybe it's not a contradiction, maybe it's just two separate things that you have to deal with. Interesting. Believe in yourself. Yes, absolutely. There's a big boost here to say, yes, absolutely, believe in you, believe in what you can do, what you can achieve. You can do this. You've collected your nuts all summer long, or in the autumn. You know, you are ready for this. You are ready for the next step in your life. You've got this covered. You've got this sorted. You can handle it. This is what you were born to do. And 57, 12, 3. So yes, it's a very commanding energy that comes through here. Yes, you can do this. That's very strongly the message coming through. Now, what's interesting here is there's the Chameleon Spirit, Act as If, but there's also Reveal Your Truth. And you could interpret these as being a little bit contradictory, but obviously that's not how guides work. They don't give us contradictory messages. Let me see if I can stop that from happening. Light's going a bit weird there. When the light goes weird, very often it's my guides trying to step in. But I think both of these can be true at the same time. Yes, act as if you already had what you needed, and reveal your truth about who you truly are. So I think this is very much about embodying your truth. And with the chameleon, we can think, oh, you know, the chameleon's just trying to fit in, but not necessarily. With this chameleon card, it's reminding you that you can be who you truly want to be. You can pick the colours that you want to display. You can choose how you present yourself. You can be who you wish to be. And it comes in on a very balanced number 14, 5 there as well. So quite a cranial energy coming in here. You're being asked to think carefully. Take the steps towards the outcomes, the goals, the things that you want. And they do say, you know, with manifesting, it can be helpful to act as if, pretend you already had the thing that you want to manifest. That can be very helpful depending on what it is, as long as it doesn't cause stress or resistance within you. You know, go and hang out in the places that you want to be able to afford to go to, but in a nice way. If it makes you feel bad, don't do it. If it makes you feel good, that's great. So there's a real kind of coming of age energy here, you know, like when you're a teenager and you want to start acting like an adult because you want to be taken seriously. So you start trying to be more responsible, you start trying to act in more grown-up ways, you know, leaving the childish things behind. And that's kind of where we are with this one. It is about acting the part that you want to play next. In a nice way, in a positive way, and revealing who you really are, because, you know, as a teenager or an adolescent, you are trying to show the world who you really are. You know, I'm not a child anymore. This is who I am. This is the person I'm becoming. This is the person I'm developing into, the person I'm growing into. And I think that's the message for Thursday. Who are you growing into? Believe that you can be that person. You know, have, be, do. Do we have those things that you want, those positive changes that you want, because they're here. Look, they've been forecast with the 6 of Winter. The positive changes are coming. They're on their way. And now it's up to you to embody those changes, to get ready for them, and to start behaving in such a way that you can deserve them, that you can handle them. Start being who you truly are. Start living as the person that you truly are. You don't have to hide behind a mask anymore. You don't have to hide your light under a bushel so that other people don't feel intimidated, or, you know, stop worrying about how other people feel about what you're doing, about judgment, about, you know, getting too big for your boots or other people getting annoyed. Because yes, people will always be annoyed whatever you do. All right, doesn't matter what you do, there'll be somebody who doesn't like it. Okay, you can be the ripest, juiciest peach, and there will always be that one bastard that doesn't like peaches. I think that this is kind of I get the words big reveal. There's something of a big reveal, and this could be on a personal level, but it could also be on the world stage. Somebody may step up and show us who they really are, and that could be good or bad, subjectively. Because it, you know, good and bad is always subjective. There's no such thing as objectively good or bad. Not in reality, not truly. On a deeper level, on a higher level, not truly. Good and bad are subjective opinions that we hold in this realm, where it's a realm of duality. So there are things that we get to label good and bad. I like this, I don't like that. It's not the truth for our soul, for the higher aspect of self. That just isn't a thing. So it's going to be an interesting day. I think on the world stage, maybe in the news, there could be some revelations, okay? Or there could be some changes on the world stage where someone is trying to, I don't know, start something or end something, or trying to act like something's happened when it hasn't, or like, I don't know, you know, when someone assumes power, they start acting, well, I'm the president now, so I'm going to act like it, you know. We could see a coup or something similar to that. There's that kind of energy going on there. I'm not exactly sure what it will be, but it's that kind of energy that we could see someone stepping up and going, right, this is me now, I'm doing this, I'm in charge. When no one's put them in charge, but they've just decided they're going to act as if, and it kind of sticks. Which is kind of how some things happen. So it's kind of coup energy. Interesting. Really, really interesting day. I think it's going to be fascinating. But overall, there is improvement indicated here. So I'm positive about it. I do feel hopeful. I don't feel bad. I don't feel negative in any way. This is an interesting day. But we are being asked to have belief in ourselves. And this is important. And this isn't just like a pat on the head, like, oh, have belief in yourself. It's okay. You should believe in yourself. No, no, no. This is important. You must believe in yourself now. Okay? The rest of the world is depending on you. The rest of the world, the rest of the universe is depending on you. Humanity must ascend. We must pick ourselves up now, stand up and be counted. We can't just stay these shying little creatures, letting other people, or perhaps other alien races, if some people are to be believed, to boss us around the whole time. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. We're supposed to be standing up, growing, ascending, our spiritual path, our spiritual growth is incredibly important. Yes, okay, we have to go to work and earn some cash at the same time, and I get that. But it's almost like that's an aside. That's our side hustle. Our real job, our main job, is to grow, to meditate, to ascend, to increase our vibration. That's our main job, and that is so, so important. And I think that will be reflected in many different ways on Thursday. So it's interesting all day there. So it's just, oops. Okay, that's not surprising. Spirit is on the line. Answer the call. Yes, yes. It does feel like the higher aspects of us will really be nudging us, really be pushing us forwards. Oh, there's a dog out there. I'm just going to close the window so we're not disturbed by the neighbour's dog. Also, the dog is on the line. Yes, this reminds me of that meme. This is dog. He's the little dog holding the telephone. Well, it's being held up to his face. It's pretty funny. But yes, Spirit's on the line. Are you going to answer? Are you going to pay attention? Are you going to listen to the guidance that you received today? Are you going to act on what you're told to do? Are you going to act on that divine inspiration? Are you going to do the thing? That'd be interesting to see. So, you cannot raise others up by lowering yourself down. Now, I've said this in about 10 different ways so far in this reading. You cannot raise yourself up by lowering others up by lowering yourself down. Equally, you can't raise yourself up by lowering others down. Did I say that right? Probably not. But that's the thing. You can only do for you. You cannot do for others. You cannot manifest things for other people. And if you try to, like if you try and manifest a higher level of financial ease for somebody else, you can't do it. You cannot do it. If they're not a match, that will go. And that is the reason why most lottery winners lose their money within, I think it's 5 years. I think that's the statistic. You can look it up. It's really interesting. But, you know, people say, oh, it wouldn't happen to me. I wouldn't lose my money. But the chances are you probably would. If you're not a vibrational match to it, you would not be able to hold on to it. One way or another, it will be gone. Okay. And that's not your fault as such, but it is your responsibility to do something about it. So, you know, if I were to win the lottery, for example, the lottery, first thing I would do, wow, I would get into therapy regularly to work on my stuff, particularly surrounding money. So that, oh, look at that, the shadow healing card comes out as I say that. They're so cheeky. I would get on with my shadow healing and do as much as possible so that I didn't lose that money. You know, so that I could hold on to it, so that I could be a vibrational match to that higher level of financial abundance that had just been thrust upon me. And that's our responsibility. Let's see what else we've got here. What brings you happiness and joy? And that's so important. We do not focus on this enough. We do not focus on this enough. We look at like instant gratification, which is what we're encouraged to do by the dark controllers, the dark powers that I talked about. The people who run the world from the shadows, those who tell us that we are small, insignificant, bad, evil, a virus, you know, they tell us all these terrible things that are not true about humanity. But what brings you happiness and joy? Because that is what will help you to truly manifest the things that you want and to make this heaven on earth. That is how we do it. Okay, it's not about being lazy and sitting around, you know, being lazy. Oh, I enjoy being lazy. No, that's not really what I'm talking about. But I am talking about things that truly bring you joy, truly bring you happiness. That's what we should be focusing on. Existing in a state of joy, in a state of bliss, if possible. Okay, and I know that that's not always possible. We live in this realm of duality. But focusing on those good emotions, those positive emotions, those happy emotions. And that's not to say we ignore the darker stuff, because there's probably some stuff we all need to work on. You know, we shouldn't ignore our feelings. They all have validity. They're all there for a purpose. Okay, our feelings are important. But we shouldn't be doing things every day that just drag us down, because we will never have what we want and we will never truly be happy that way. That would be very, very difficult. Okay, I mean, yes, you can choose to be happy inside, and that's always, well, not always, that's something that I've chosen to do for a long time now, is to make the choice to be happy, because it is a choice. But it's very difficult, you know, if you're forcing yourself to do all these terrible things all day that drag you down, that put you in a lower vibration, in a more negative state. That's the point I'm trying to make. We are all unique and we are all one. Wow, that one, is that the third time we've seen that one now? That reminder of oneness is so, so important for Thursday. So there's something to do with oneness. Maybe it's to do with contact from ETs or something. Because it is about oneness, it is about joy, it is about remembering our divine spiritual path, which has absolutely nothing to do with going to work and having a job. Absolutely nothing to do with that. Okay, it's much grander than that. All of these things, this whole system has been set up to ensnare us, to keep us from being able to do our spiritual work, to distract us, to keep us lowly, to keep us feeling separate, to keep us feeling bad about ourselves, to keep us in a low vibration. Look at the TV, it's all low vibrational shit. Okay, very, very few programs out there are positive or uplifting. And even the few that are, there's very often some negative stuff in there as well, interwoven in there, so you can't be too happy, you can't enjoy it too much. I mean, that's why I had to stop watching soaps. I used to, not of my choice, but people I lived with watched soaps, so I'd just kind of watch them with them. And I reached a point where I couldn't watch them anymore because they were so depressing. I was like, oh my God, this is really dragging me down. How can you watch this every day? And me being very sensitive, I could see how much it was affecting me, and I had to step back from it. And I spoke to a lot of people over the years. Anytime I hear that someone watches soaps, I will ask them the same question. Why? Because they're so depressing. Why do you enjoy watching that? And the only answer I've ever had, other than I don't know, is because it makes me feel better about my life seeing how miserable they are. And I think, wow. Wow, that's terrible. That's an absolutely dreadful thing to say. I mean, that may be the truth, fair enough. But talk about having your expectations in the gutter. Goodness me. In the gutter. Right. Speaking of in the gutter, let's bring out the romance card, see what's going on romantically and in our relationships, platonic and romantic, for Thursday. All right. Oh, cat person, dog person. Opposites attract, as they say. But it is about being a different person again. So maybe you want to choose to be a different person in your relationships. Maybe you don't want to be that person that you were previously. Maybe you acted in ways that that didn't work in the relationship. Maybe you scared people off. You know, it's easy to be too keen or too distant or just not really know how to act, not have enough boundaries, have too many boundaries. You know, maybe there's a need for change in a relationship, moving forwards together. So it's not necessarily that there's a relationship ending. It may just be learning how to act differently, learning how to act in a more positive, healthy, emotionally healthy way in relationships today. That could be a theme. Moving forwards together. Another number 40 coming in. Okay. Seen 40 a few times. That just keeps jumping out at me. It's not the only number we've seen a few times, but it is jumping out at me, noticing 40. So I think that could be an important number this week. Okay. What else have we got here? In our relationships today, nothing will keep you apart. Interesting. Completion and fulfillment. So again, it is about walking your path, walking your talk. If something is meant for you, nothing will keep you from it. And that goes in all aspects of life, not just in relationships. Nothing will keep you from the healing that you want, the joy that you want, the abundance that you want. It may not look exactly like you're expecting it to, but nothing can keep you away from those wonderful feelings that you want, those good positive feelings. Completion or fulfillment, yes. Again, it's about a new phase. We've got the 6 of winter, which is about the improvement, the positive changes coming in, and the 66 over here on completion and fulfillment, 66, 12, 3. So it's quite really empowered energy coming in here. Really, really empowered energy. It's kind of, I want to go to weddings for some reason. I was thinking, is it divorce? So it could be for some people, but I'm going to the theme of weddings coming up. And I mean that in the literal sense, but could also be in the symbolic sense as well. What are you wedded to? You know, what needs to come to an end? Do you need to break up with your boss? You know, with your work, with some things, just to truly be you, to assert yourself within a relationship. Really, really interesting energy, I have to say. And look how tidily I've put the cards out as well for Thursday. So I would read into that there's quite an ordered energy coming through, because you know me, I put them here, there and everywhere. You've just been watching the previous days. They come out as they come out. I don't have a specific layout or, you know, that I use. They come out as I'm guided to put them out. So it can be interesting to look at how they laid out, and they've got 9 here as well, 9 3 3s. So that's interesting because that's relevant to manifesting as well. 3 6 9. So I'm just going to throw that one in the mix as well. Interesting day for manifesting what you want, perhaps by walking your talk, maybe kind of fake it till you make it energy, but in a good way, not in a deluded way, not in a dishonest way. So money and finance, financial audit, another 40. You see, I said that was a interesting number, keeps popping up. Money, money, money. Oh, okay, so there could be an increase here that you actually need to learn how to manage. Like I was saying, it could be for some people coming into more money and learning how to manage it correctly. Resistance is holding you back, isn't it always? Yeah. So resistance, I'm talking about the energetic resistance, vibrational resistance that keeps us from manifesting our desires. So I already mentioned my book earlier, the link is below, where I do explain resistance in there. Resistance is like an energetic block that stops what we want from manifesting, or stops it from manifesting quite as we want it to, or quite to the extent we want it to. We might only get a little bit when we've asked for a lot more. And, you know, when we're manifesting, it's not always money. People like to manifest money, but it doesn't have to be money. You can manifest anything. Okay, working with the law of attraction, we're working with it all the time, every day. It's a constant in the universe that it's always responding to us all the time. But what resistance is holding you back? What untrue beliefs about yourself or about the world are holding you back from having what you want? So it could be conscious, it could be less than conscious. You might not be aware that you think it, and you might have to sort of think about it before you can see it. Do you have a belief like, there isn't enough to go around? Do you have a belief like, oh, I don't deserve that? If I have too much money, it'll make me a bad person? That's a very strong one that a lot of people hold and they don't realise they have it. They don't realise they have it. So it could be time for some self-reflection, I would say, particularly when it comes to money, when it comes to finances, investments. You know, you might need to speak to a financial advisor today just to make sure everything is as it should be, if you have any questions. Okay, crystallised assets. I love this card because I have no idea what that means. All right. When my guides told me to write this one, I was writing it going, what are crystallized assets? What does that mean? So, what they're telling me today is I want to talk about stuck energy. Stuck energy that can't be moved. Like perhaps you've invested in something, like maybe you bought a house and you want to move it on, but you can't sell it, which in this market is unlikely. But that's the kind of energy I'm going for here. It's like something is set in stone. What is set in stone in your life that you don't want to be? Or that, you know, that you do want to be set in stone that hasn't been yet. Interesting. And I do go to the energy of crystals as well. I've got quite a lot out here today. We were talking about goldstone earlier. That's come up a couple of times too. But it is a card about change because we've got 13, number 13, which is the death card in tarot. So 13-4. It's a very, very interesting card when that one comes through. Tell me what that one means to you. Let me know. Sensible investments. Yes. Sensible investments. That's why I was saying, yeah, it's take a bit of a financial audit, get some professional advice if you think you need it. It's a day for sensible investments, but it's about growth for the future. It's about acting as if, being the person that you truly are, and acting as the person you truly are or wish to become. Very, very, very interesting energy. So we're going to move on to Friday now. So Friday's cards, we have number 41, Nightingale Spirit, love is all around. We have the 5 of Summer, trust that there is a reason for everything that happens. Remove yourself from the negative emotions of others, focusing on that which frightens or worries you. And we have 29, Nourish the Soul. So this feels like quite a difficult emotional day here. So focusing on things that worry you, not the best idea. It's interesting, this particular fairy has like moth wings. She looks very much to me like, I mean, not from the shape, just from the patterns on them. It reminds me of a moth that I've seen before. And her antlers here, that it's so moth-like. Moth to a flame. Maybe it's something that you're really worried about. Maybe there's somebody that you're worried about. Maybe you're in a difficult relationship and you're worried that they're going to leave you, that you're not good enough, or, you know, or that you'll never be with them, for example. And there is this powerful, reassuring reminder from your spirit guides today that love is all around and nourish the soul. So there's this soul nourishment. It feels like your soul is crying out for soul food today, I want to say, literally. And where can you get that? Can you go to a yoga class? Can you go to a meditation? Can you sit somewhere very beautiful that you find inspiring, that helps you to get back in a positive vibration, that teaches you? Do you want to read a book? Is there a book that can help you? Sometimes I have certain books that I reach for, and I just open to read a passage when I feel like that, you know, and that can be very, very helpful for me. So let's try that now. I'm just going to grab one of those. So there's a few books I do that do this with. One that I reach for a lot, and with the Black Panther I really want this one, which is Women Who Run with the Wolves by Clarissa Pinkola Estes. Yeah, okay, let's see what wisdom we have. Okay, I just got the first line here. Do your art. Generally, a thing cannot freeze if it is moving, so move. Keep moving. Keep moving. Keep your energy moving. Don't allow yourself to freeze. So don't allow yourself to be frozen to the spot with fear. Do your art. Yes, do the things that nourish you. For some people that could be literally art, music, or whatever it is, the special thing that you do, because we all have something. You don't have to have a high level of proficiency of it. Your art is the thing that you do. For me, it's this. This is my art. I can try and paint things, but I'm not very good at it. A thing cannot freeze if it is moving, so move, keep moving. Yes, don't get stuck. Don't get stuck in fear today. Do not allow yourself to be frozen to the spot. You are not a statue. Keep moving, keep moving. Don't turn to a pillar of salt, you know. I kind of want to say don't look behind you as well, but in a nice way. I'm not trying to scare anyone, because that could appear a little bit frightening. But don't look back, as in don't look back at the bad things. Don't keep looking back over your shoulder when you're supposed to be moving forwards, I want to say. Focus on spiritual connection today, connecting with that higher aspect of self that comes through when you are doing your painting, your art, your drawing, your writing. Maybe you sing, maybe you play an instrument, maybe you compose music, maybe you write poetry, you know, maybe you garden. It doesn't matter, your art, your thing, the thing that you do. And like I said, you don't have to be an expert at it, but your thing, and you know what your thing is. Okay. Lean into that today. Lean into whatever nourishes your soul. Lean into your spirituality. Meditate. Give yourself a Reiki session if you do Reiki. If you would like to do Reiki and you don't, you can get a free Reiki attunement with a guidebook through my website, angelwingsholistics.com. It's always there for you. I've decided to make that a permanent free listing just for anybody who needs it, because it's very, very popular with people all over the world. Nourish your soul. Soul food. Look at this gorgeous jaguar. Very, very spiritual cat. Very powerful, very spiritual cat. So the cat energy coming through with the oh, that's interesting. Okay, sorry, my guy's trying to talk through me now. That's why my mouth's going a bit funny. Felis energy is what this, the Felis energy. Okay. That's one of the genus of cats, isn't it? Felis. It's Latin. I don't think jaguars are, but never mind. Okay. Interesting. There's kind of an otherworldly energy coming through, possibly from other planets, from star beings coming through, connected to the cats. I'm feeling that very, very strongly here. It's like they were trying to communicate through me for a second there, and I had to pull myself back because I don't want to start channeling that when I'm trying to do this. It's not always appropriate to just open and channel. But I think there could be some channeling happening today. I think there could definitely be some channeling happening, some information coming through from off-world. So see what inspires you, see what comes through, see what messages you receive. And they could just literally just pop into your mind, some words pop into your mind, and you think, oh, that's good, I like that. You know, and you don't necessarily know where they come from. Some sort of divine inspiration coming in, but reminding you how loved you are and how loved the human race is. Okay, humans are absolutely adored by many, many ET races. Okay, they absolutely adore us. They're kind of watching us as we're growing at the moment, as we're ascending. And the important thing to remember is, I don't know if you've ever read any of the books by Barbara Hand Clow or by Barbara Marciniak, or, you know, actually, they're not the only ones, obviously. But talking about how important the human race is, how important our spiritual growth is, because where we go one, we go all, because we are all one. All right? They can't ascend until we do. They can't go to their next level until we do. We have to go as well. All right, they can't go without us. And they really care about us, because many of these are beings from higher dimensions who are incredibly loving, very, very spiritually enlightened, very awakened. And we are absolutely adored. Absolutely adored. Not by all, because some of them are on a very, very dark and negative vibration. And they're the ones who tell us how stupid we are. So, anyway. And how bad we are, and how terrible humanity is. Oh, these dreadful things, that's human nature. Well, what if it wasn't? I disagree. In my experience, human nature is good and kind. We want to help each other. We want to do the right thing. We want to help. It is not normal human nature to be barbaric, to be cruel, to be selfish. So let's take a look here. Take time to heal. Oh, yes. Yes, if you're struggling today, take some time out. If you're struggling with emotions, you know, running away from you, struggling with anxiety, with depression, with your mental health, take some time out, because it feels like you may need it just to stay grounded, just to stay balanced, with the number 4 energy coming in, reminding you to ground, reminding you, you know, to stop for breath, have a glass of water, eat some food. Okay, stop, breathe. Abundance is for everyone. Yes, it is. Coming in on the Christ consciousness on 33.6. So 33, number of the Christ consciousness. So there's a very sacred energy coming through, reminding us that abundance is for everyone. And I don't mean that in the glib way of, oh, abundance for everyone, yay, you get a car, you get a car. I wish I could do that. I wish I could point to all of my followers and go, you get a car, you get a car. That'd be great. Right now it would probably be like a toy car. That'd be all I could manage. And even then. But abundance is for everyone. Yes, it is. But abundance of spirituality, abundance of spiritual growth, an abundance of enlightenment, an abundance of inspiration, an abundance of love, an abundance of joy, abundance of bliss. All of these things are available for you. You deserve them. They're there for you. Cat energy. Yeah, the big cat energy coming in. So again, which are the star seeds that are connected to cats? I can't remember the name of it. It's just gone out of my head, but feel free to comment if you know what I mean. Cats. Yeah, so there's a strong cat energy influence. It could be that you have a spirit animal that's a big cat, you know, a lion, a tiger, a cheetah, a leopard, you know, a puma, whatever it might be. There are many of them. That's kind of that energy coming through quite strongly today. So there could be a connection with Sirius there for some people, that kind of energy coming through just to try and lift you up. It feels very much like they're trying to support you, or it might literally be your own cat at home trying to emotionally support you, trying to keep you, you know, feeling better, in a good place. Fertile soil grows the best carrots. Now that's interesting. Second time out this week. Very curious that we should have this today. Okay, this is a very, very interesting day, Friday. I had to check which day it was. Friday. Yeah, you have to be in the right place to be able to do the things you need to do. So I would say don't try and push yourself too hard today. Don't try and make yourself do things you're not capable of today. All right, otherwise you might not get the results you want if you're trying to like push yourself at work, but you're really upset and you're just really not feeling it. Today isn't the day to try and do that. You know, just focus on your art, on the things that make you feel good, that make you feel relaxed. Don't try and overstretch yourself, I want to say today. Don't try and push yourself to do to achieve something. It's not that kind of day. I want to say take a step back, relax, be very gentle with yourself, be very kind to yourself today. So let's take a look at relationships and emotions. Okay, so this can be romantic relationships, platonic relationships. Let's have a look. Children and family. Yes, so that's highlighted today. So it could be fears to do with your own family. Maybe you have a family member who isn't well. Maybe you're concerned about family members. Maybe there's some rifts there. Maybe there's been some arguments. Maybe there's something to look at. And it is a day of reflection today as well, I think. So it could be a day of self-reflection and also reflecting on your past. Feed your relationship, but feed your relationship with self first, because you've got to nourish the soul. So these are all both about feeding, both about food, soul food, of course, because I mean, literally, yes, you can feed your partner. You can feed someone, you can give them food. But I want to talk about soul food. How do you feed your relationship? How do you nourish your relationship with others, but also with yourself? And when you look at how you nourish yourself and how you nourish others, which one do you prioritize? What do you do? Should you be doing one for the other or the other You know, do you do more for this one than you do that one? Do you do more for others than you do for the self? Are there things that you do for others that you could do for yourself? And stars align. Yes, there's definitely that powerful starseed energy coming through today. So it could be a starseed in your life. You could be somebody that considers yourself a starseed. You may feel that connection to off-world. You may feel that connection to the star nations. Or it could literally be the star nations, you know, the ETs or whatever you wish to call them, communicating, sending through love, sending through inspiration for you. But it may feel on a spiritual level quite a special day, even if it's quite a little bit of a stressful one as well, because those days can be very, very sacred. We can have very, very sacred experiences on very stressful, difficult days. Certainly speaking from my own experience, that could definitely be the case. Okay, kind of very powerful, very potent spiritual experiences. It's not the only time, obviously, but it could definitely happen. So let's take a look at money, finances, abundance. Let's see what's going on Friday. Okay. Reap what you've sown. Interesting, we've got that with the carrots card. Yes. Well, if what you've sown is to work yourself too hard, you may be reaping exhaustion. That is going to be individual for everyone. It's going to be a little bit different for everyone. And also energetically, you reap what you've sown. And that's not to say you're a bad person if you don't have everything you want. It just means that energetically, you're not quite sowing the right seed, or you're not aligning yourself with the energy of what you want so that you can actually have it. And you actually can, you absolutely can do that. And you deserve to have the things that you want. I want you to know that. Gambling and losses. Okay, so it may be a little bit of a difficult day if you have some talking to do either to yourself or to somebody else. Maybe somebody has been reckless with money and you need to have a conversation. Maybe it's you that's been reckless. Maybe you don't talk about money in your relationship. Maybe you really need to. Maybe somebody lent you some money with strings attached, you know, and that's causing problems for the relationship. It's a difficult card. It's a difficult energy surrounding money and finance today. Mastering money mindfulness. Yes, we've got a 60 and a 60. I like that. And a 50 here, so it's interesting when we're getting 10s, so it is about changes and ends of cycles, beginnings of cycles, but also new learning, new wisdom coming through. So it may be that you understand something new, and I like how this one's gone over here with stars aligned. So we've got mastering money mindfulness with stars aligned, cat energy. So it's about boundaries, it's about learning new things, maybe having divine inspiration about abundance, learning about true abundance on a higher level. So that could be interesting, but it could literally be on a much more practical level, mastering your mindset, because that is so, so important to be able to master our mindset. You can't do it all the time, you know, you can't control the ego mind all the time. You can only do it some of the time. Gifts of time and money. But we can do more than we think in the moments that we can control it. And Aquarian age abundance. So yes, higher levels of abundance, higher understanding of abundance, of course, with the Aquarian age abundance. Let's just bring in, we're going to bring in the astrology dice. Let's see what other energy we've got going on here, because this is a very, very interesting day when it comes to money. And I think on the world stage it could play out interestingly as well. It could be that people who have invested maybe in cryptocurrency may find themselves rewarded for that, or perhaps validated, vindicated, I want to say, perhaps for their choices, or for choosing to barter, choosing to do things differently and not the old system, maybe moving into the new system. Maybe that's working well, and we'll see some little signs of that. So that will be interesting. But gifts of time and money, yeah. You're definitely not alone. Definitely not alone with 55, 10, 1. I feel like somebody offered to help and maybe you haven't taken them up on that. Okay, I'm aware this is a group reading. I'm not just talking to one person here, but it feels like sometimes we do need to take people up on their offers of help, offers of support. And that can be time or money. And or money, can be both. Yeah, but again, I was talking about if somebody gifted you some money that has strings attached, that could be issues in your relationship. So look at your relationship with self. You know, have you refused help because maybe you feel unworthy? I think that's a very, very common theme. So let's just have a look at the astrology dice, see what else we've got going on here. Ooh, we have Sensible Virgo, we have the 10th house, And we have the North Node. Interesting. So the North Node is the future, things to come. Also represents opportunities, fate, destiny, and potentials for growth, which is really interesting here. So there is a huge potential for growth, and it is in Virgo. So Virgo, very earthy sign, earth sign of course, very ordered, they're very detailed in everything that they do, very analytical, can also refer to health, but yeah, it feels like learning how to do something. It's quite a cranial sign, Virgo. You know, they like to do things properly. They like to think it through. They can be a little bit critical, so there could be a bit of self-criticism going on here. Maybe that's necessary. Maybe you need to learn to be a little bit more self-critical in certain ways, to critically think about certain things, certain aspects of life. And with the 10th house, it's our public face, it's our career, it's our status, our reputation. So maybe this is connected directly to the workplace, to what we do for money. Maybe we're doing something because we think we want to be seen to be this, that, or the other. Maybe our job title is very important to us. Maybe that's how we define ourselves. And maybe that's thrown into question today. So very, very interesting energy to be looking at there. So let's move on to Saturday. So Saturday's cards, we have number 50, the Rhino Spirit, overcome any obstacle. We have the Queen of Summer, loving, comforting, emotional, intuitive, listen to your heart, intuitive insights you can trust, taking care of others, perhaps too much. So a continuing theme there from Friday. And embrace the masculine, coming in on 11-2. Very interesting day today. So again, we've got these masculine and feminine energies alongside each other here, and I want to talk about the need to balance the different aspects of self. Embrace the masculine, don't turn away from him, because when we stay very much in the feminine energy, we can become very depleted because we may be giving too much. In the feminine, we can be too giving, we can be too emotional, but insofar as it can be difficult to be pragmatic, we can get emotionally exhausted, we can be give. Yeah. And it says on here, you know, maybe you're taking too much care of other people and not enough of yourself. It's okay, we need to pull back sometimes, and we do need to learn how to conserve our own energy. That can be very, very important. And that can be very much lost when we don't embrace the divine masculine energy. And there is this encouragement here. If you do want to overcome your obstacles, if you do want to progress and move forwards in your life, you must balance both aspects of you. You must have the divine masculine and the divine feminine in balance within yourself. Okay. And what we're seeing at the moment is very much the divine masculine being very much out of kilter, the divine feminine being out of kilter too. You know, with men and their importance, certainly in the Western world, being very downplayed or being highly criticised for things that are traditionally masculine traits, and there's nothing wrong with them, you know, in isolation. And what we're witnessing right now, it is the pendulum swinging way in the other direction, because it was swinging so far towards the masculine for so long, and, you know, the divine feminine got back hold of it, tried to bring some balance in. Of course, it has to swing all the way the other way for it to come back into balance, and that's just what we're witnessing at the moment. It's just gone a little bit too far in the other direction. It will come into balance, but how we can actually help to facilitate that for the world is to find that balance within ourselves. To find that perfect balance of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within ourselves, the yin and yang energies within ourselves, and to find that balance between, you know, head and heart, mind and intuition, you know, allowing them to work together. So, because that is how we are at our strongest, when the two aspects work together rather than against each other. That makes us incredibly weak. And that is how we gain this strength that comes through with the beautiful Rhino Spirit, reminding us here, you know, that we can move forwards, we can make the positive change we need, we can learn, we can achieve higher levels of wisdom. But it could literally be a day of arguing in couples. I think Saturday there could definitely be some arguments, maybe one partner feeling like they give too much and the other person doesn't do enough. You know, it does feel almost like a battle of the sexes energy coming through a little bit here on Saturday. Look, she's looking away from him. He's looking forward, so that they're really not seeing eye to eye at the moment. So it can be difficult to reconcile that within you when it's you know, when it's not balanced outside of you, but the inside is what matters. It's the inner work that matters the most. And when we heal something on the inside, you will start to notice that it becomes more balanced on the outside as well. When you heal something within yourself, it will be more healed on the outside. You are helping the world to heal that particular energy, that particular aspect that needs to be healed. And the more you heal yourself, the more people will respond to you in positive ways. So people's reactions to you, their actions towards you will change the more you heal yourself. Now, I'm not talking about abusers necessarily. You should definitely stay away from them. Okay. But it is very interesting to observe how people's behaviour towards you will change the more you heal yourself, because energetically they are responding to someone who's different. You're energetically different, so they have to respond to you differently. They can't respond in the same way. It's, you know, they have no idea they're doing it, but you might notice it. You might observe that change. So, yeah, united we are strong. Divided, well, we're conquered, basically. Divide and conquer, oldest trick in the book. So try to ignore the fault lines on Saturday. Remember that we are one and we should be working together, not against each other. Okay, memories. So looking at the past, cat energy. Oh my goodness. We've had these two already. Boundaries. I give thanks for my many blessings. Yes. I do feel like this is very much a day for looking at what has happened in the past. You know, we are looking at memories, we are looking at past experiences, drawing boundaries, holding those boundaries, but also being grateful and thankful for the lessons that we've learned that have made us stronger, so that we can move forward, so that we can be the person we want to be, we can achieve the things we want to achieve. There's a real sense of learning and wisdom that comes through that's potential wisdom. You know, not everyone's going to just suddenly find wisdom today, but there's potential learning coming through today. Maybe you're reminded of a particular event, you know, it was very difficult and emotional. Maybe you're able to see more clearly now how you would have handled a situation in your past, how you would handle it now. Okay, maybe you've learned how to approach things in a different way, because there is this sense of growth. These gorgeous flowers here, and this tree, and I think it's ivy, it's an oak tree. There is a real sense of growth, which is possible. Growth is possible. Okay, so for some people they might just be arguing, in couples in particular. But for others, I think people who are maybe a little bit more spiritually aligned, spiritually, I don't want to say advanced, that's not really how it works. Let's say spiritually aware, or aware of their path, aware of, you know, the need to grow and ascend and learn. I think it could be a really interesting day, maybe of looking back over the past and finding new ways to handle old problems. Yeah, that's how I want to say it. Let's see. Take time to heal. So again, the theme of healing coming up. I don't know how many times this one's come out. It's come out a few times. No is a complete sentence. So again, boundaries. Yeah. Interesting day. Some past memories, past experiences coming up. Maybe you're reliving a certain experience. Maybe something's happening again, but now you know how to handle it differently. So, you know, you won't be taken advantage of, or you won't be run roughshod over, or somebody can't get one over on you because you've learned how to say no. Maybe you've learned how to hold your boundaries. Okay. Yeah, interesting day. Very interesting. So let's bring in the Romance Oracle to see about relationships, emotions, what's going on. Sweets, chocolates and roses. Oh, that's sweet. Commitment requires work. Yes, it does. Yeah, it's not just, oh, here's a box of chocolates, that's my part done, I don't have to do anything else, I can sit on the sofa farting and watching a Doctor Who marathon. Okay. Who needs to do some work in the relationship? And this isn't necessarily romantic relationships, it could be family relationships, it could be friends. Who needs to do some work? Okay, if you want a relationship to work, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship, you have to work on it, you have to input, you have to provide input. You can't just buy somebody off. Now, I've been in relationships before where people have literally tried to buy me off, not necessarily just in romantic relationships, sometimes with extended family as well. and that does not wash with me. I cannot be bought. I'm a Libra, cardinal sign, and when I put my foot down, it's no. You know, strong sense of justice here. I've always been that way, but people have literally tried to buy their way out of things with me, and that just doesn't wash. I hate it when people do that. It's a very kind of old-fashioned, very cynical, traditionally male way of thinking, and I think it's horrible. So that could be an issue that's in your life at the moment, or maybe that's something that you do. Maybe you're a bit lazy. Oh, I've upset the wife. Oh, I'll just buy her something and she'll shut up. No, is a complete sentence. Don't do that. Okay. There's got to be something to heal here. If you're trying to buy people off, then that's avoiding a level of intimacy and true, I want to say true compassion, true empathy, but also true connection. You're missing out on a level of true connection there. Flash in the pan. Okay. So that is very much about, soulmate, soul contract. Anxiety and fear. So yes, there are these difficult, stressful feelings coming up today, as we saw with the Queen of Summer. But flash in the pan is about short relationships. It's about, you know, it's about a fling. It's about a one-night stand. It's about something that just doesn't last. It could be very, very intense for a couple of months and poof, it's gone. And there is this reminder coming in that even those relationships are sacred, they are important, okay? They can be incredibly painful, but that doesn't mean it wasn't a soulmate. Very often soulmate relationships can be very short-lived, very painful, very bad for us on objectively, like, oh, that person was bad for me. But they provide a huge opportunity for learning about the self. We can learn so much from them. Of course, we'd rather they didn't happen, but if we don't learn from our mistakes, then that's the, you know, that I think that's the real mistake, learning from our mistakes. Yeah, so there could be a difficult soulmate relationship that you've just been in, that you're currently in, you know, and you feel you have a soul contract with this person and that's why you're together. Maybe you feel you can't step away from them, and that can be a very difficult situation to be in. But I've said it before, I'll say it again, just because you have that soul connection doesn't mean you have to stay together. All right, and if you feel that you can't step away from that person, you might need a bit of help. Okay, you might need some support to do that from, you know, from a counsellor, a professional, from somebody who can help you see the wood for the trees. Okay, yeah, so anxieties and fears definitely coming up today. A tricky day emotionally, very tricky day emotionally. So let's see how it is when it comes to money, finance and abundance. If it's a difficult day emotionally, what's it looking like when it comes to cash? All right, a season for everything. Yes, there is. Raise your vibration. All right. Yeah. Abundance requires gratitude, question mark. User abuser. Yeah. So it could be a situation where there is financial abuse, and that doesn't necessarily mean in a personal relationship. That could be in a financially abusive relationship with your government. Dare I say it? With a bank. Maybe they're taking you for a ride. Maybe they've taken all your money away. Maybe there's a bail-in happening and so they're just helping themselves to your money. If you don't know what a bail-in is, I suggest you look it up, because that's something that's a real possibility, where the bank just basically takes a load of money out of everyone's account and goes, yeah, that's ours now, we needed it, so sorry. Yeah, so it's about being taken advantage of, potentially financially. Maybe financial abuse going on in your life, maybe in someone else's life who's close to you. Maybe that's something to look at. And remember, there is a season for everything. You know, there's a season to be up, a season to be down. We don't have to be perfect all the time. But we should be working on raising our vibration, because that is how we get what we want, basically. And abundance requires gratitude, question mark. Yeah, asking yourself that question, because believe me, it doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. So there could be real questions about the law of attraction coming up today. Maybe feeling frustrated about money, about finances, you know, feeling very, very stuck in certain ways in your life, in certain aspects of your life right now. But I promise you that you can change it. You can change and shift so much. And it is all about changing your vibration. That is how we change and shift these things. We change our vibration. Everything around us has to fall into place. Okay. So let's move on to Sunday now. So Sunday's cards, we have number 62, the Turtle's Spirit, slow and steady wins the race. We have the Prince of Summer, falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. And we have We Are All Connected, number 49. Interesting energy for Sunday. Very, very interesting themes coming through there. Yeah, there is a reminder to go slow and go with the flow, I want to say. Go slow and go with the flow. Don't burn out too quickly. I mean, with the Prince of Summer coming in here, it comes in with a lot of speed, like, woohoo, yeah, let's fly off on our dandelion clock to the moon, you know. And I don't want to temper that enthusiasm, because it just feels like there is a real enthusiasm today to move fast, to achieve, to move forwards. And this could be on a spiritual level, because it feels like a very spiritual day. And I mean, Sunday can be anyway, because, you know, it's the day many people practice their religion or what have you. But it feels like it's a very optimistic day. And I don't want to put a downer on that. I really don't. The only thing I would say with the turtle spirit showing up is... make sure whatever you're doing is sustainable. Make sure whatever you start today is sustainable. Okay, do it in a sustainable way so that you don't burn out. Because it does feel like there's a lot of spiritual revelation coming through, I want to say, on Sunday. So it could feel very, very exciting. And I want to say you don't have to do too much too soon. It could be that you discover a new form of spiritual practice, a new yoga pose, you know. Maybe you've just started learning Tai Chi. Maybe you've started meditating. I want to say don't feel that you have to overdo it, because you can really, really find yourself overdoing stuff at first. It's okay. It's not going anywhere. All right. With We Are All Connected, it's kind of like the We Are All One energy here. It's not going anywhere. The universe isn't going anywhere. You know, if you've just learned something new, the world isn't going anywhere. There's no rush. It's okay. Calm down. I would also say be a little bit cautious about offers that seem a little bit too good to be true today. Be cautious of financial offers, I want to say in particular, because I mean in the crypto world we do talk about going to the moon. Like when a coin, when a cryptocurrency suddenly gains a lot of value very quickly, we call it going to the moon. So it could be to do with cryptocurrency or to do with finances, literally here. Calm down. Yes, one of the cryptos could moon, why not? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you never have to work ever again or do anything ever again. Okay, so let's try to follow our heart and take our head with us, is what I want to say here. It's very enthusiastic energy, very fun energy, but also very spiritual, very, very interesting energy. Very interesting. And I think I get a real sense of community from this card as well. It could be a community project that you're very excited about, or that some of us are very excited about on Sunday. We really want to do things together. We want to work together. I mean, I volunteer for a cryptocurrency called Light Cash. I help out. I'm not an IT person by any stretch. I help out with marketing and, you know, PR and what have you. But it's a community project. We don't get paid for it. I'm literally a volunteer. I do it because I believe in the project, because I think it's a great project, you know, and that's not financial advice. That's just my personal opinion. I like it. It could be worth nothing, you know, in a couple of years' time it could be worth zero, who knows. But it's about community, and I think this is the theme moving forwards. And I know that as we move into the age of Aquarius, it will be about community. It will be about working together for our common good. And I don't mean in a communist way, because that's more like a race to the bottom, like everyone's a lowly little ant apart from the you know, the dictator at the top who lives in the lap of luxury with his cronies. It's not like that. It's about a more I guess idealistic way of doing things, a way of cooperating, a way of helping and supporting each other genuinely in a real community. In a genuine community way where people genuinely care about each other and about the outcomes for everybody. So it could be that there's something to do with that comes up in your life. Maybe you have an idea, maybe you're invited to take part in a project, or even move somewhere, you know, to be part of a commune, for want of a better word. Maybe that comes up today, you know, maybe that's something you're excited about, but I would say slow and steady. Okay. Don't necessarily make any rash decisions on Sunday, because it has a bit of an idealistic energy and you might be rushing ahead, you know, and they do say, you know, fools rush in where angels fear to tread. So just keep that in mind, you know, follow your heart but take your head with you. on Sunday. So, what you fight, you become. Yes, if you want to change the world for the better, don't fight what is. Okay, and I mean that because vibrationally speaking, when it comes to working with the law of attraction, if you're going to put all your attention on the thing that you don't like, the system that you don't like, you are just giving it more power, you're giving it more energy. You're basically saying to the law of attraction, please give me this thing I don't want. Please give me more of this thing I don't like. Please give me way more of this system that I hate. Okay, and that's a very, very important thing to remember. And that's not to say that you can't look at it or pay attention to it if there's a reason to do that. And you don't have to suddenly pretend to like it. Just maybe distract yourself with something a bit more positive so you can stay in a more positive vibration. Maybe meditate. You know, maybe do something that helps you to stay out of that angry, annoyed state. Because that doesn't help anyone. That kind of angry, annoyed energy doesn't help anyone. Okay, it doesn't help you. It doesn't help anyone. You are loved. Yes. Well, lots of hearts here. So we've got a heart on that one. Got 2 hearts on that card. Most of my cards don't have hearts on, as you will have seen. Oh, there's a real reminder of love, and I want to say you are loved by the world, but also the community as well. I think there are people who really genuinely care about you, who would like you perhaps to be involved in a project that is for the good, you know, for the greater good here. And I think that's wonderful. But as long as you're not struggling against something, because those are doomed to fail. They really are. In the grander scheme of things, they are doomed to fail, because what you fight, you actually ultimately become. Okay? And that is very, very true. So memories coming up again. Wow. How many times have you seen memories now? Is it 3? Is it 4 times this week? I want to say with that card, again, the stuff coming up from the past. There's changes afoot here on Sunday because there are memories coming up from the past events, past ideas, past ideals, a past you. Maybe there are things to confront from the past, things to look at from the past to actually improve. But I want to say, don't do things out of guilt today because of what you did yesterday. Don't do things today because you'll feel guilty about what you did yesterday. Okay, be very cautious of that. Cat energy coming. I swear I shuffled these. You wouldn't believe it, would you? I swear I shuffle them between each day, which is why there's a pause. I actually pause the video and shuffle all my cards. Ridiculous, isn't it? Cat energy, yes, independence. Cats have good boundaries. They're independent. They know what they want. They ask for what they want. Ask for what you want. Okay, you don't have to go along with what everybody else wants or think, oh, look, I'm saving the world. Woo! When actually, maybe you're just inconveniencing yourself. Maybe you're just doing something that isn't very clever. Okay. Might seem like a good idea at the time, but like I said, take your head with you, please. So this card wants to come out. Look at your own reflection. Yes. Before you start criticising others, make sure you're perfect, please. Yeah. Before you start telling other people how to live their lives, make sure you're living yours perfectly. Okay. Self-reflection coming up as an important theme today, and I think that will help to keep your feet on the ground as well. Okay, oh, these people are terrible. They're all doing these dreadful things. Okay, you perfect? I don't think so. All right. Okay, look at your stuff first. Other people's is none of your business. Okay, flash in the pan energy coming in again. So again, this idea, whatever it is, could be here today, gone tomorrow. Whatever it is that you're enthusiastic about on Sunday could very much be here today, gone tomorrow. So just bear that in mind. It could be something that cannot last. So it could be like the crypto market suddenly going up and then shooting down again in a couple of days, which can definitely happen. We call it a pump and dump. Okay. Children and family. Yeah, so what and who are important to you? Who are your family? Who are your tribe? Who are your people? Who are you caring about right now? And this is the thing, many people don't realise cats can be incredibly loyal. So I have a Bengal and he basically selects... Well, what Bengals sometimes do is they select one person that they are absolutely attached to like glue. And that is their person. I am Bedford's person. He is very, very bonded to me. You know, he likes other people, but he's bonded to me. He knows he's my cat. I'm his human. That's that. Very intensely loyal, very protective of their offspring as well. Is there a theme of neglecting family for some cause? Is that something that you suffered with when you were a child? Were your parents more interested in helping other people and making themselves look good? Were they more interested in in a church, in a charitable organisation, in work, in their public image than they were in you. Okay, so be careful that you're not trying to please other people today as well. People pleasing could be coming up as a difficult theme. I swear I shuffled these. Feed your relationship. Okay. Yeah. I want to say here, be kind to the people that you don't like. The people who irk you on Sunday, try and be kind to them, because I feel like they need it more than anybody else. Try to be kind to the people that you don't like on Sunday. And see how it changes your relationship. See how it changes things. When you fight and struggle against another group of people or a system, you can really just make things worse. How about you show them kindness and see what happens then? Because that can be extremely transformational. Okay. So, money, finances, wealth and assets, number 8. Gifts of time and money. Seriously, I shuffle these so well every time, but the same ones just want to come out. I do have more than like 5 cards. Great fortune. Yeah. So there could be a real temptation of great fortune today. So I'd say be careful with your money. Do not invest slowly. Invest slowly. If there's something you're interested in, make sure you're getting the good advice about it. Don't just jump. Don't just leap in without knowing what you're getting yourself into financially. Also be cautious if somebody is asking you to donate a large amount of money, or to give them a large amount of money, or to lend them a chunk of money. It's okay to say no. With the cat energy coming in here is about boundaries, but also you can offer them your time rather than your money. Okay, so I want to say a little bit of self-reflection, but also self-preservation, I think, is going to be necessary on Sunday. But I do feel there is a financial opportunity today, but it could be very, very short-lived, very, very flash in the pan with these two next to each other. There could be a very short-lived window to actually make a lot of money, and then whoop, it's gone. So that's going to make it for a very interesting day. It's quite a turbulent energy, quite up and down on Sunday. It's going to be definitely interesting to see what happens, you know, on a personal level, but also, you know, on the international level as well, or on national community level, see what happens there. So do let me know if there's anything interesting, exciting happening where you are. So let's move on to our spiritual guidance message for this week. So our spiritual guidance cards, we have 32, the Divine Masculine. Of course we do. We have number 13, Insight. We have number 27, Joy. And we have 36, Soul Family. Okay, very, very beautiful cards coming in here. Wow. So what I was saying about really balancing the Divine Masculine and allowing him back in again is so, so important right now, because there are some very important spiritual insights for us to have. And if we're shutting off that aspect of self because we think, oh, men are bad, oh, toxic masculinity and all that, you know, we can really be cutting off a whole aspect of ourselves, a whole half of ourselves, and not be able to be fully integrated and whole. It's very, very important to remember that we need to be whole. We are holistic beings, and holistic means whole. The word holistic comes from the same root as the word whole with a W. In some ways, I think it should be spelt with a W, and then maybe perhaps people would understand the meaning of it. You know, perhaps it would be clearer. But our soul family absolutely all coming together at the moment, allowing us to manifest more, allowing us to create this new world that we're moving into. But it's a joyful world. It's a happy world. We shouldn't be cutting certain people out of society. We shouldn't be telling them, you have to have this opinion or get out. You don't count. We don't want you here. No, we must be focusing on coming together now. That's so, so important. And many of the people from, you know, whatever group, whatever belief they have, you see so many people who say, oh, we are the accepting ones, we're the ones who are really good and loving and accepting, but we don't like you, get out. You know, there's always there's always that caveat, but we don't like you, you're bad, you're hateful. You know, that seems to be hate seems to be bandied around so much these days that it's completely lost all meaning. When I was little, I wasn't allowed to use the word hate. I used to get told off if I said that, because I was told, no, that word's too strong, you're not allowed to use it. That's only for in extreme cases. And it's just thrown around like it's nothing these days, which is ludicrous to me. I do know why, but on a spiritual level, but it's unhelpful. Okay, it's always unhelpful. If we are genuinely wishing to be whole, then we must focus on the inner work rather than criticising other people and telling them that they are not inclusive enough, or they're not understanding enough, or they're not kind enough. You know, it doesn't matter where you're coming from with it, what your beliefs are. It really doesn't matter. Focus on you, on yourself. That's where you will get your true insights will be coming through from the higher level. And that's what we should be focusing on, letting the divine masculine not just back into the fold, welcome him back in. We must work him back in, because that's how we achieve joy. That's how we receive, we reach those higher levels of joyful living, because that's what we're here to do. We're not here to fight, we're not here to argue, we're not here to struggle. We're here to experience joy, bliss. That's the point. That's the point of life. And what the next person is doing is none of your business. What the next person is doing, you can't control, nor should you try to. If you want to help, work on yourself. Show compassion, show empathy, work on yourself. And I mean true compassion, true empathy. Not, oh, look at me, I'm being so compassionate by doing this thing. Okay? No, that's bullshit. And you know it. All right? Society is very much influenced by the narcissists at the moment. You know, people are being very, very encouraged to be very selfish, very self-serving, very self-congratulatory. Isn't that noticeable? And it really leaks out, and it's very noticeable in particularly people, I think, who are not doing their spiritual work, not doing their spiritual practice. It's very easy to fall into. It's a very, very dark temptation. It's very easy to fall into. It's very tempting, you know, to get up on your high horse and say, oh, I'm better than this person, look at me. And I think that's really what we're being warned against. It feels like our guides kind of want to rein us in a bit and go, whoa, 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 you're going in the wrong direction. That's not what we meant. That is not what we meant. What are you doing? Get back here. Which is kind of fun. So for some people, there's literally a bollocking coming this week from your spirit guides. Could be a bit of a rude awakening. And that's not necessarily for the people watching this video. That could be for others. But there is a bit of a rude awakening for some. But it will be of their own making by themselves. So it will be self-reflection that is required, not for anybody else to stick their oar in and tell them what they should do. They must get there on their own. But the soul family, the soul tribe is so important at the moment. It is so important that you find the people that resonate with you and spend the time with them. Make sure you're staying with high vibrational people, people who make you feel good, that you make them feel good, you know, so you're having that mutual exchange of energy, making each other feel wonderful. That's so, so important. This week and moving forwards as well, particularly for the next 12 years. That's the second time I've said 12 years, but that's what's coming through to me. This 12-year period is crucial for us. We might have called ourselves light workers previously. I call myself an integration worker now, because I understand how important it is to integrate all aspects of self, and that's the name I prefer, if I must have one. We must be working together. We must be doing our spiritual practice, going within, finding that wisdom within ourselves, that peace within ourselves, that bliss, that joy within ourselves, so that we can help that to manifest on earth right now. And that's our most important task, basically. Joy is your most important task. Okay, that's what we need to be doing. And I'm just going to bring in a card here from the Love Oracle, because I have these to hand and I want to bring one of these in, and I'm not exactly sure where we're going to go with this, but let's see. Okay, so we've got two there. They all have different pictures on the back, which is, oh, and we have a third one wanted to come out, which is rather lovely. So, my beloved, though we may be physically apart, spiritually we are always united, for love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. And I want you to take that as a message from your guides, from your loved ones on the other side, from people you can't be with right now, from your spirit guides, from God, from Source. We are always united. Love transcends space and time. Nothing is missing. Everything's okay. Secret admirer. Someone has deeper feelings for you than they're letting on. Now that's interesting. So there could be a person or people who want to connect with you, who will actually uplift your energy. And this could be romantic or not romantic. You know, it's going to be different for everybody. But be aware of who would love to spend time with you, who would like to be a part of your tribe. And you don't have to let them in just because they want to. But I feel like your soul family are out there, your spirit guides are out there, they're waiting for you. You know, if you're not already connecting with them, or if you're not connecting frequently enough with them, they're waiting for you. The universe, the whole universe is waiting for you. I also want to talk about the star nations there as well for some people. So, imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. Beautiful. I'm going to read that again. Imagine all unwanted thoughts dissolving into light, creating room for new opportunities and possibilities for your life. That's how you manifest. That's how you manifest. That's how you do it. Obviously, we can't just dissolve our unwanted thoughts. It's not quite that simple, is it? But we can help them to dissolve by meditating. Meditation, our spiritual practice, things that help to get us in the zone, in that peaceful state. That's what will help us to grow, what will help humanity to grow, help us to grow on a spiritual level, on a psychic level, help us to ascend, to become the wonderful spiritual beings that we are supposed to be, to enjoy that bliss, because that is what we're here to do. We're not here to suffer. You know, the religions that tried to tell you you're here to suffer and be lowly so that you can enjoy the afterlife, they can shut the fuck up. That's not what you're here to do. Unless you choose to do that, in which case good luck to you. It's not what you're here to do. You're here to experience bliss, to bring joy to the world, joy to the earth. Here to enjoy the process as we enter this important, crucial time in humanity's growth. Such an important time, and that's why we're here. That's why we're all here, to help facilitate it in whichever way we have chosen to do so. Some people are here literally to fight against it, but that's a part of it too, and that's absolutely okay. And I think it's important for us to remember that everyone has a role in this. It's like a school play. Everyone has a part in it, and everyone's going to do something, even if they're just a tree. You know, if someone's just dressed as a tree, just standing there, they're still doing something. They're still performing a function. Okay. Everyone has their part to play, even if they don't seem to be doing anything, even if they seem to be a baddie in the play. It's just a play. It's a production. Everyone has their role. It is as it is supposed to be. So, let's bring in a couple of these. Any last messages from our spirit guides here, from heaven, from the higher realms, from the angels, that they would like to tell us? They're so cheeky. Healer, healing, healsome, whole. I made up the word healsome, but I love it. Healer, heal thyself. Heal yourself if you want to heal the world. Be whole if you want the world to be united. Unite within yourself if you want the world to feel whole. Show yourself love and kindness if you want the world to be a love and kind place. That's how we make the real difference in the world. Beautiful. Okay. So, I will leave it there. Thank you so much for joining me. It has been my absolute pleasure. I'm a little bit tired now and my voice is starting to go, so I'm going to have a little bit of a drink of water. If you've been watching for any length of time, I suggest maybe you drink a glass of water as well, just to ground your energy, because connecting with my energy when I do this kind of work can, you know, it can put you in a slightly higher vibration, so you might just want to ground yourself just to make sure you don't feel spaced out. I would say that after any reading anyway. Although this is a group reading, so it should affect you less. But today I'm guided to say, maybe consider having a glass of water if you feel like you need one. Okay, you take very, very good care of yourself. You can find me at angelwingsholistics.com if you need me, or on Ko-fi. I'm always about. You can also join the private Telegram group, which is where you can talk to me directly. And we have chats in there about all sorts of things that are going on. I will see you very, very soon. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.